Hi, everybody. It's Retro Nerd Girl, and I'm broadcasting live from the International Science Fiction Space Station. Yay! And we're going to watch Amadeus. Rock me, Amadeus, today. 1984. It's really an awesome movie. We're gonna have so much fun because I have a special guest that it's a big surprise for you, but also an honor for me. And I will introduce him in a minute. But before we get to that, I'm gonna just go through and say hi to everyone. I see Amy Joe in the comments. How are you? How's everything going, Amy? I hope all is well. Sean Innes is here. Hello, Sean Innes. How are you? Let's see. Bonzo Kilborn. Yes, Bonzo Kilborn's in the house. And Maria Kelly is also here. Hi, Maria Kelly. Let's see who else. Moonbeam. Okay, Moonbeam is doing double duty. He's doing something else, but also saying hello to us, making sure to keep us both both of his attention on both whatever else he's doing and us. So hey, hi Moonbeam, great to see you. And oh, Jack is here too. Jack, how are you? Says hello from Texas, heading out for the lake soon. Can't stay. Hit that like button and rock me Amadeus. That's right. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to read this comment for sure. I didn't. I kind of breezed through really quickly. But Sean Ennis says, "Hey, just saw the alert. Retro Girl. I actually met Elizabeth Barrage doing pre-production on the little film called When the Party's Over. She seemed very nice. Oh, that's cool. Really cool. Yes, and Elizabeth, Amy is supporting that. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna and Amy Jo says, "Oh no, oh my God, this song is going to be stuck in my head." It is. It's a great song too. You got to watch the video. It's great. There's quite a few videos for it actually. But without further ado, Guy. Oh look, Putin's cat just walked in the door. Hello, Putin's cat. How are you? So good to see you. Let's see. And yeah, without further ado, I want to introduce my guest. It's Douglas A. Burton. Hi.
Hey, Retro, how are you?
Really, really good. I heard from grapevine that this is one of your favorite films.
This is one of my top 3 favorite films for sure.
Yeah.
I've loved this since I was a kid in the 80s when it came out. And
Oh.
I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. I recognize some of the names already. Putin's cat, Amy Jo Johnson. I saw Moonbeam in there. So what a great crew you've got.
Yes, everyone's here. And Keith E is also, he just walked in the door. So good to see you, Keith E. Oh, we love you. And let's see, who else? Yep, I think we got everybody. Definitely Sean Ennis is here. Sean Ennis says this. It says yes about this is about um Elizabeth Barrage. Yes, she's she's pretty, but I was more surprised by how good looking Ray Don Chong was. She was also in the movie. Unfortunately, I only got to see Sandra Bullock from across the room before Speed hit. Okay, so
Wow.
this was for the movie When the Party's Over. Interesting. Yeah, I never saw that movie. I've got to put that on my list, Sean. Oh, so cool.
That is awesome that you got to meet Elizabeth Barrage.
I know, right? And Putin's cat says is saying hello and with all the hearts. Thank you so much, Putin's cat. And yeah, so besides like, Amadeus is definitely one of those films when I was small I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see it
Oh,
when it came out. It's one of those movies I saw later on and I was like, oh, I heard so much about it. Like the Oscars, it was such a big deal about that. And it was just one of those movies that you just felt like it captured. What period of time do you think that would you would say? Is it Renaissance or Baroque?
so this must have been mid to late 1700s.
Mhm.
So it's funny, my kids like that movie Hamilton, and I was like, that's like the same time period roughly, but over in Europe they were worried about like opera.
Yes.
As a kid, this isn't the kind of movie I would have liked as a kid,
Mhm.
because I was into Star Wars, Star Trek, Blade Runner, a lot of the same movies that you like, Retro.
Yes. Yes.
And I remember as a kid, it was on cable, and
Oh,
I remember the scene that totally just enthralled me was
yeah.
the scene where Salieri is describing what it was like to read the music. And he's describing, and he's like, yeah, high above was like an oboe, and
Yes.
this, and he was breaking down the music, and I was just like sucked in. I was like, oh my God, you could separate out each instrument and like
Yeah.
pick it apart. And he's like describing it with this passionate love of the music. And I remember just sitting down and being like, do I like classical music now? Like I didn't, I didn't know what it meant that I liked it.
Yes, yes. It is just one of those things where, yeah, that scene in particular, I can't wait till we get to it because it's so beautiful the way he is just imagining the music, speaking out loud what he's thinking, and just verbalizing it. It's like it's very unique as you know, as a writer. These are the things that you want to be able to describe, and he does it so beautifully. And I was like, "Oh, I wish I could do that, like, can I do that?" And sometimes I feel like I can, and sometimes I'm like, oh, it's sort of like, like going like this on a keyboard,
See, I
and,
usually do it with my head. I'm just why is this
wow! Yes, and
that's
so,
great.
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing, if you're a writer, I think this is gonna really appeal to you, the way, Salieri is just going on and on about, these things, and I just wanted before we get started, I wanted to kinda go through the movie just really quickly. We're talking about Amadeus, 1984. It's PG rated, even though there is a moment in the film I may have to block out uh, our because there's some nudity in the
That's
film.
only in the director's cut.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, so it's in the director's cut. That's the one that we have access to. Uh, you said that the theatrical doesn't exist anymore, or it's hard to get a
So
hold of?
it exists. So the last time the theatrical was produced and sold
Yeah.
was DVD. And it's
Oh,
weird. It's so early on. It was one of the first DVDs I ever bought because this is one of my favorite movies. You
okay.
have to flip the DVD. There's side A and side B. It's completely archaic. And since then, they've only released the director's cut. And it drives
Oh,
me nuts. When it first came out, I was super excited because I was like, there's more Amadeus scenes. So I loved it when it first came out. And now
yeah.
I'm like, I prefer the theatrical cut. So
Yes.
what I could do is point out the added scenes so you could see kind of
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
where,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but the
that would be
director's
great.
cut is still good. It's just, it just, the flow of the theatrical cut was much better. That's all.
Okay, yeah. And this particular cut, I think this cut is like I'm getting like different amounts of times on it. It says 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I think they're talking about the 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 theatrical cut. So bear with us. We're not sure exactly if it's 3 hours or if it's 2 hours.
Retro, are you watching it on Netflix?
Yes, I'm gonna watch it on
Okay.
Netflix. I also own it on Amazon as well, but I decided to just do Netflix because I think that's where most people are gonna be watching it on. Are you as well gonna be
I'm
watching it on?
switching over to Netflix just for timing
Mhm.
reasons.
Okay, yeah, I think it might work out just, in case there's something else going on. It's directed by Milos Forman. I
Yes.
have you ever heard of that guy before? I have not heard of that,
I haven't, but
director.
his name is stuck in my head because of this movie. Like I said, I'm talking like VHS. I put the VHS tape in the VHS player, and I would have
Yeah.
like a notebook on my desk, and I would take notes. I actually found my notes recently,
Oh,
and one of them was like, "Oh my god!" Like because I thought I was gonna be a movie director, right?
yeah.
The scene where like Mozart's dad crumples up a sheet of paper,
Oh,
and then the
yeah.
next scene, there's like a herd of white stags that breaks as if they heard him crumpling up the paper. And I have this huge note being like, "Oh my god, you can have a transition where the scenes aren't related, but they are made to look like they're related." you know?
Yeah, wow, yeah, younger you figured that out. So that's a great, bit of insight. Let's see, he actually did, Man on the Moon,
Hmm.
the movie about, oh, I forgot his name, but it was starring Jim Carrey.
Oh,
The People versus Larry Flint. He also did Valmont, Ragtime, Hair, One Flew
ragtime.
Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, this is really incredible. Yeah, and some other ones, though I don't know those ones, but yes, he's really incredible.
Wow.
Milos Forman. I had no idea.
Well,
Um,
and Saul Zaentz, this is a Saul Zaentz production.
uh-huh.
He owns like partial rights to Lord of the Rings, his company. Yeah.
That's
It was
really
weird
cute.
because I always knew these names from this movie. And like recently, in the last like 4 or 5 months, they're like, yeah, Saul Zaentz just acquired the rights or sold the rights to Lord of the Rings. I was like, Amadeus, Saul?
Yeah,
Lord
yeah.
of the Rings? The heck?
Wow, that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
we have acting as Salieri, um, F. Murray Abraham, that is just doing an incredible job. Wait till you see his performance; it's really
So
stellar.
Amadeus won Best Picture in 1984. This
Ooh,
Best
yeah,
Picture winner. And this
yeah.
is one of those rare movies where you have two lead actors nominated for Best Actor.
Oh
Um,
wow.
F. Murray Abram was nominated for Best Actor, and Tom
Mhm.
Hulce, who plays Amadeus, was
Yes.
also nominated for Best Actor, with F. Murray Abram winning the award. So this was like the movie of 1984. In
Yeah.
retro, you know more than most that's in the heart of like golden era Hollywood for our
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
1984, like these are some of my favorite movies, and this was the top film. So it really does speak to the craftsmanship of what I think of the theatrical version as a perfect movie almost.
Oh yes, and I see that's why I really want to see it just to see the flow of it. But this is really incredible. Still, yeah, Tom Hulce is fantastic in it, as you guys will see.
That laughter.
Hopefully, and we were talking about Elizabeth Berridge. Um, she's plays
Stanzi.
Yes, Stanzi, who is Amadeus's wife, which is really she's one spicy meatball.
She
And
was the last minute replacement.
oh
They had
really?
cast another actor, and at the last second, they got Elizabeth Berridge to come in and play the role. And what's weird is, as a kid, you don't necessarily. Her performance in this is outstanding. She really
It's really
keeps it
is.
all together.
Yeah, and there's so many different tones to her, playful and
Yeah.
sweet, innocent, but also to um, there's a scene in here that I won't get to it. She plays it just perfectly. We also have Roy Duttris in here, who
Yes.
plays Wolfgang's father, and it's really interesting because you get they have a painting of him in the in the picture that you're just like, "What?" It's really cool. He does a great job there too. Christine Eversole is in this. It's just very beautiful. Jeffrey Jones plays the emperor.
Edward Rooney.
Yes, and Kenneth McMillan, as we all know, from the 1984 Harkonnen. He is Baron Harkonnen in that film, and he's plays a small part in this movie, but it's really quite good. I mean, he's
Is that the scene with the
fantastic.
dogs?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yes.
The Lord with all the dogs, and believe it or not, Kenny Baker is in here too, which is
Yes.
really cute.
He
And
plays
so
one of
yeah,
the thespians.
yes, yes. So this is really great. We're gonna get started. Um, the way it works, guys, is that you have your copy, I have my copy, and we watch our copies together. Now, I do have an auxiliary computer over here where I can see your comments on occasion. Now I can look over there and see your comments. If you look, I got a little bit of reverb from my computer. Ah, okay, got that. So I can see your comments over there. And Keith E is letting me know I need to put up a banner, which I have not done in a
Oh,
while.
good
Thank
catch.
you. Yes, thank you so very much. It's been a while since I put up a banner. So let me uh, put up a banner for that.
And then you turn it down, right, Retro?
Oh, the
The volume of the movie. I just didn't know how you. Are you allowed to?
oh, well, I have headphones in,
Oh, okay, okay.
so I'm able to hear it separately, um, and not have the gosh, now I'm having a problem spelling Amadeus. What is wrong with me? Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, and I think someone mentioned it on your stream the last time we were on together. Amadeus, which is Wolfgang's middle name,
Yes.
means love for love of God.
Oh,
Deus
wow.
meaning God, and ama meaning love of. So love of God. It's a perfect title for this film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. As we will find out that this really does have some religious themes in it, that may be a little bit controversial, but also very important for the character of Salieri. Okay, so
Amadeus.
all right. I just want to make sure that's. Thank you so much, Keith E, for reminding us about the banner. You're awesome. Thanks a lot. And all right, guys. So the way it works is that you have your copy. I have my copy. We're watching it from Netflix on the most part. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna count down from
600.
oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. I'm gonna count down from 6 to 1. I'm sorry, 5 to 1. And then where I would have said 0 or yes, that's when we press the button to go. Now, I do have um a little visual assistant. So for those of you who don't have a copy of the film, we have, let me see if I can organize it like this. So once I press the button, we'll go. So everybody ready?
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, not yet. Sorry.
No, I
I
gotta
gotta
start
turn.
over.
I gotta turn on the timer first. Sorry about that. False alarm. False alarm.
Abort.
What? So here we go. And I got the timer here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press. And
Okay, we're pretty close.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So you could put a little bit there at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Um, there might be a moment where I have to black out the entire screen because there was sort of like a little accident that happened. But
I think we're synced up real nice here.
okay, yeah. Just so everybody knows the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great way to be able to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is my wife, that scene where he dunks that pastry into the cream, she loves that scene.
Oh, yeah?
It's just like thick cream and it looks sweet and delicious. And by the way, as a writer, this is such a dream screenplay. Like, what a great opening. The drama of it, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's funny how this guy's on a totally different page. He's like threatening not to come visit him and completely underestimating the seriousness.
Oh no, he's tried to kill himself.
Yep. And this is great too. You know, it's an attempted suicide. That's pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
Um, these two guys were completely not suited for the seriousness of it. And I love this like 18th century ambulance. You
Yes,
know,
yes, yes.
ropes
Oh,
on two sticks that you're pulled and dragged.
oh yeah. You know what had me laughing though? The grave, how they bury people.
Oh yeah. So yeah, good luck. Here's some lime.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, brutal.
Yeah, what's funny is so I remember studying this intensely
Uh-huh.
um, for the hero's journey, and
Ooh.
I could never make this work with the hero's journey. It just never fit, and it used to drive me nuts to try to figure out how the story structure worked. Um, and I could not make it work with the hero's journey. Now
Yeah.
these sets, a lot of the filming was done in the Czechoslovakia, former Soviet Republic.
Okay.
They chose it because it had not been commercialized yet. There was no like neon signs, you know, there was nothing. It was like, you know, what you see on screen.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
right. So they went in there and they filmed all this. So you get a real good look at what could have been the 18th century town. And they had Soviet minders that followed them around everywhere. And I guess it was a whole issue between the Soviet Union watching them make this production and them trying to film all the scenes.
Wow. Oh, the music is just exquisite.
Yeah, I think you saw I was 8 when this came out, and
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah, so I was 8, and I wasn't into classical music or anything, and until this movie. After this, like I love this idea that I could like almost like a wine connoisseur that you could listen to music and pick out all these things and like, oh, you know, there's the oboe, there's the timpani drums.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that idea ever since this movie.
There's some crazy naked guy that's just walking
There he
around.
is. Hey, what's going on?
Everybody's got like their own costume on. It's great.
I like this like guy in the background who's like dressed like Napoleon playing
Yes.
cards right there back there.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna live this little fantasy of mine, please. Thank you.
Retro, when did you see this when it came out at the theaters?
No, I saw this much later. So
Okay.
I saw this much later, and I was like, oh, what have I been missing? But I had always known because I was there watching that particular 1984 um, Oscars with my mom. And this was something that we do all the time, and this was one of the movies that they were just raving about ridiculously. And I was like, oh, I gotta see that one day.
Yeah.
I
and
think that
and
was the year. I think that was the year Cher had her little costume that was like it was like kind of crazy, and people were just like, "What kind of outfit is that?" Such a big
yeah, the dialogue in this is again perfect. It's perfect dialogue. It's like, oh,
Mm,
we're all he's about to say it. You know, we're all equal in God's eyes. It's like,
yeah,
whoops, that's the worst thing you could say to this guy.
yeah,
And you know, the makeup, this one for makeup,
yeah,
it holds up to this day.
yeah. It holds up. I mean, it's not the best stuff, but it definitely, you know, let's just say it looks pretty good for its time, and it the way. he wears it. You know what I mean?
The way he wears it, I will say, I remember being enamored by the transitions.
Yeah.
Like when he starts as an old man doing this, and then it transitions, and he's a young man. He's in front of an actual orchestra. I was like, oh my God, that's like the same guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And this scene is freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he tricks the audience too. The audience goes, oh, I know that, audience doesn't know what he's playing here.
Yeah. He's like, it's a very popular tune in its day.
He's like, man, I was on, Casey Kasem's top 40, man. Come on. This is what I regard as a brilliant cinematic transition. Because he looks crazy here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's in silence and he's doing all this, and this priest is like, looking at him, he's like, oh, this guy's hopeless.
Yeah.
And then you get this cut, and he's remembering this larger than life moment on the grand stage of the theater.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And then right there, he turns, and you realize it's him. I mean, it's the same actor.
Yeah.
And then the idea of taking
he's bowing.
Yes. Sweet. And the sound carries over the audience clapping. Look at him. Oh, thank you. And he snaps out of it.
Yeah. What a wonderful job.
And the priest is like, I got some bad news. I don't know that one either.
Oh, let's see. Taylor Swift greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. Maggie. Oh, and Doctor Who. Good to see you. Good to see you. And who else is? Did anyone else have been? Let's see. Oh, Sean Ennis says F. Murray Abrams is really good in The White Lotus season 2, and the voice of Khonshu in Moonlight. Oh, I didn't know that he was in Moonlight. Oh, I had no idea. I have to watch that one.
He was also in. I think he was also in Scarface.
Yes, he was in Scarface. He plays such a bad,
he was like all character and stuff.
Yeah, he plays such an awful character in that movie. And Putin's cat says, I only know Tom Halsey from Pinto in Animal House. Oh, yeah, Animal House, yeah. And was as a messed up child of Jason Robards in Parenthood. Okay.
He was in that. He was also in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the one with Robert De Niro as Frankenstein.
Really? Oh wow, yeah. That's been. Oh, I have to see that again. It's been a long time. I did see that movie, but I regretfully don't remember much from it.
I don't remember much either. I remember not thinking it was that great because De Niro as Frankenstein was a real mismatch in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's got a great soundtrack, and there's one track in particular that is just the most desperate sounding music I've ever heard. It's so great.
Oh, wow.
And notice he's blindfolded. Mozart's blindfolded.
Yes, and they are both.
And then in the transition, he's blindfolded. So that's brilliant storytelling to show, them both blindfolded, but in two completely different scenarios.
Yeah.
I mean, look at those scenes. Look at those sets. Those are the enormity of the opulence.
Oh yes, it's so wonderful to look at.
My dad, this guy. I love how his dad checks his fingering here. He's like,
he's a helicopter dad.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, that's
see, and this is good dialogue because it's such an earnest, want, a longing. I want to be a great musician. That's such an understandable, sympathetic desire. And then you realize how terrible this guy is in order to get there. But it's set up so beautifully.
Yeah. And he doesn't begin that way, though. I mean, I think he tries to be honest in the beginning, and then it's just like, ah.
He does. He does
Yeah.
try. He's the masked minotaur in the Heroine's Labyrinth structure.
Yeah.
And you can always tell because they want to capture the heroine or monopolize the heroine, and particularly her sacred fire. And the sacred fire is an attractive force and a creative power. And for a male character like Mozart, his creative power is writing. It's literally sacred fire, and the Minotaur tries to capture that from him. So structurally, it's exact. And I love that he recites the prayer out loud. And this is a clue that he's a bad guy.
Yes,
right here.
yes, because you're not supposed to find this as a miracle.
Right. Yeah. The best thing in the world happened. My dad dies, and
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember we were studying stories, and they say that sometimes this is how you do it: is you have a character selfishly interpret something as good when it's not, and
Yeah,
like, great for me.
Yeah, just slightly immoral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's no remorse or sorrow that his dad died.
Yeah, but a sense of freedom, like.
Right. And this is one of the rare films where the voiceover so perfectly matches the images.
Oh yeah. Yes, you're so right.
Like he glances over at him. I was correcting the royalty, And that's a weird clue too. Because he's like, the guy doesn't understand music, but he loved mine. It's like, dude,
yes.
This is an added scene right here.
Oh.
He's asking the priest, doesn't it sound like God accepted my deal? And the priest doesn't even answer. It's kind of funny. He's like, I held up my end of the bargain, is what he's saying.
He's probably saying, that's not how it works.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of glad that he didn't respond.
Yeah, the priest's like, until he came. What a great transition.
Yeah. If you notice, he's wearing black, and mostly everybody else are wearing other more colorful colors.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine putting these scenes together as a movie director?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy standing in the doorway, like you just stand there and act like you're kind of looking. You're the bodyguard. And I've watched this movie enough to where I've noticed some of the costumes. Like there's these bodyguards dressed in black that follow the emperor around. And
yes.
And I've watched those guys sometimes, and the guys are like vigilant. Like he's looking, he's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, man, this guy's must have been a real bodyguard because he's acting like he's like, on top of it.
I wonder, yeah.
And this is great dialogue too. Which can you tell from looking at somebody that they're the most talented man in the room, And then of course there's Mozart chasing chicks. And how about this like pineapple chocolate ball thing that they've got?
Oh yeah. There's so many good treats in here. Oh my goodness.
I love this where
he pretends
to be looking around.
Yeah.
So basic.
Uh-oh, I'm getting some buffering.
Now, one of the things the director said, or it might have been F. Murray Abraham himself, they made him have a sweet tooth. So all through the film, you'll see him snacking on sugary treats.
Mm-hmm. And that's why at the beginning, those guys were bringing him a soft
Yes.
like yogurt thing. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. Like even here, he's like, oh, a little chocolate can't hurt anything.
yeah. It's his one vice, though,
Yeah.
right?
And now this was an interesting choice too, because for the sets and the costumes to be at pretty much the highest level possible for a cinematic film, you cannot get any better than these sets. You cannot get any better than these costumes. What an odd choice to have American accents. Um,
Yes.
and he said he did that on purpose. He's like, I wanted Mozart to be the American accent, and then a lot of the other guys to have like a British sounding accent. The idea was that the Germans in this world structure were kind of like borderline second class citizens. They weren't
Yes.
considered cultured. They didn't have a country yet. Germany wasn't unified until 1871.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was like the rise of the German people. They weren't quite there yet, and that he really captures this sort of classism. We don't write in German. We don't,
Yeah.
So he has the Germans have the American accent, and then everybody else kind of be a little bit more up and coming.
I just have to block it out for a few minutes. A moment.
He's such a nut job. She
This
handles
shows
him
you
fairly
how
well.
yeah,
What's
it
that?
just shows you how brilliant he is. He can, like, speak backwards.
Totally. You can almost picture the writer saying, "How would Mozart do it?"
Yeah.
And whoever did that edit did a great job because she's like jerking her head, and in the edit, they keep it. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, "No, dude." Yeah, and I guess I didn't understand it when I was watching it the first time or as a kid, but apparently she's not real upper class. She's like the daughter of a landlord. So
Yeah, yeah. She
so
has
this
money. She has money, but she doesn't have a lot.
right,
But
she'd be
but
considered like working class.
yeah.
And the father obviously has aristocratic dreams, and he wants Mozart to be in the upper crust. So
Yeah.
this is like an embarrassment to the dad.
Yes.
Eat my What a great scene. And then the camera closes in on Salieri
Yeah.
right here.
He's just in awe of him. He's like, "This man."
This disgusting infantile, like he says it. Yeah, like how and you can understand the angst,
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
the Archbishop. He's like he's got like his hair out of place. Excuse me. Every single person in that room has to be in costume. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it. The detail and then the sets are just insane.
Totally.
There's one, when we get to it, I'm just gonna, uh, I'll just talk about how amazing it is. But yeah.
So one thing I've noticed on subsequent viewings as I got older, when
Mhm.
it comes to music, Mozart is never stupid.
Yeah.
He's serious. Yeah, like the second music clicks on in his brain, it's a whole different guy. Like this
Yeah.
guy is serious. He's a musician, and he says it later in the film. He's like, "I'm a vulgar man, but I assure you, my music is not." And they capture that intentionally with this character.
Oh, yeah, yeah, in this scene, yeah.
That was Mozart.
He's, like, crawling on the floor.
Yeah, and we've all had someone that's made us jealous like this, right? We're like, this person is undeserving.
Yeah, how did they do it? They're. They don't seem to even care. They're
Right. That's such a flippant answer. If you don't like me, you can just fire me. Like even all those guys set in the scene.
Oh, his hair is just perfect, isn't it? That wig is just like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's snatched.
How did wigs ever get to be a thing, man? It's those Europeans were weird about that.
I kinda like I was like, I wish we had those.
Let's do it. Let's bring it back. Oh, I love
Uh,
this.
yeah,
He sticks it.
a nice egoic move here.
Yeah. Hey, take
Nice.
that, Archbishop.
See, they love me.
And this is where we get his point of view. You know what it's like. This, like I said, this is one of the scenes. Oh, like those kids trying to get the alcohol. I just amazing how they
Yeah,
coordinated all that.
yeah.
So this is the scene that captured me as a kid. I just and you can only do it with film like this
Yes, yes.
because you've got a future, the current old man telling
Yeah.
you spliced with flashbacks and the actual breakdown of so this is actually the author analyzing Mozart's thing
Mm,
himself
yes, yes,
as if he would, so the love of this music is coming through him right here.
yes. Look at his face, he's so happy.
Totally. Well, and it makes you feel like you can pick it out now. Like
Yeah.
you're capable of this analysis watching while you're sitting there watching the TV.
Well, they're teaching us about music, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love when he says that.
Hmm.
Look at his face.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like it's like pain. It's so beautiful to him. But why? That's actually an added scene. What that one I like. So this scene is where you start to see how the author set up the prejudice against Germans.
Yes.
The Italians are like, he's overrated.
Yeah. And they too are also outsiders kind of in this.
Right, right. They're like the
Yeah.
outsiders who have the reputation for knowing music.
Yeah.
And that's why they're hired here. And all the
Mhm.
Italians teach music in this court.
Yeah.
But now there's this like German who's not supposed to be good at music,
Yeah.
who's not only good at it, but might be phenomenal.
Yeah,
And the
better than
Italians are
everybody
like,
else. Yeah. Also, he himself has like a prejudice against Italians too, right?
right, exactly. He senses that Italians don't like him, so he's like, "Meh," to the Italian. He doesn't like
I just love how everything is all like gold leafed, like
no,
gold leaf everything.
totally, exactly. Like there's like trim on the walls in
Like
gold.
gold leaf that too. Okay.
Can we get that in gold leaf?
Can we just gold leaf everything? It's beautiful. It's just
I mean,
gorgeous.
look at that. Like there's like guard after guard after guard through that doorway.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's super protected.
Yeah, yeah. And here he's saying is like you can't put the German language to music. It's too brute. It's too brutal.
Oh yeah.
And the emperor's like, okay, I guess that's true. And this is great dialogue too, because he's diverting attention from the topic
Mhm.
to making the Emperor's second guest, bringing Mozart in. You know, it's funny for Jeffrey Jones, the guy who plays Edward Rooney and the Emperor. What a bizarre role for him, but he's so good at this.
I think he was well cast.
Yeah.
I know that there's some other stuff going on with him personally and
Right.
other stuff, but in this movie, they got the right look for the Emperor, and he plays it perfectly.
Yeah, he's like half twit, half extreme diplomat. He's really good at being he's good at being a diplomat, but he's also kind of dense.
Well, he mentions his cousin Catherine.
Yeah,
right? So cool.
Or Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, Marie Antoinette. So cool.
And here, this infantile joke. This scene coming up is one of my all-time favorite scenes. It taught me how you can have combat without fighting. And combat between two musicians, what would that look like? You're about to see, but it's an incredibly devised scene. Now, this is a chamber guardian and an inner chamber in the Herione'S Labyrinth sense.
Oh, wow.
The heroine structurally is Mozart. He's the one with the creative power that everyone is attracted to and trying to possess or control. And you have to enter these inner chambers of your society, and there's usually a chamber guardian, and they issue a social test of some sort. And this is an incredible social test that the heroine, in this case Mozart, just destroys.
I know. He didn't have to be that cold.
Yeah, he buried him.
I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, like, ooh, he's really making his point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Emperor's not a very good musician here. No, that's like me in like third grade.
Oh, wow. I'm sure that would be me if I started. Probably would.
Do you play any instruments?
No, I don't. I really should have learned at some point.
It's so hard. I did it for a couple years, but I never followed through. I wish I would have,
Yeah, at least I would love to have learned how to play guitar. I could be like,
yeah. Like heavy metal, one of your best videos.
Yeah, that's what I would like to play. Ooh. I love him trying to coach the.
You missed the march, Emperor.
I love the way he's trying to make him feel good about it, but like also say, okay, and you need to do this. Oh, okay, very excellent.
Totally, very good, Majesty. You're right. That's great acting.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love the social faux pas of him bowing to the wrong guy, and how they're all like aghast by it.
Yeah, they're like, what? I love how everybody looks exactly like how the paintings, that we've all been used to seeing of this era.
Yeah. I mean, he almost looks like George Washington, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And there's some good, like, sizing each other up looks from Salieri and Mozart in this scene. Oh, yeah, Insurrection.
Oh,
Maria Kelly mentioned that F. Murray Abraham played the villain in Star Trek Insurrection. I totally forgot about that.
Yes. Good one, Maria Kelly. Absolutely. Yeah. You guys are awesome.
And this is that alarming laughter introduced in the wrong setting.
Yes.
Everybody's like, whoa, what is
Calm
that?
it down. Take it down a peg or two.
Dude, is that a real laugh?
Yeah.
This guy's good. He's always like diplomatic and level-headed. And this is great. This is our, like, look at this look when he introduces Salieri. Look at that. I am the best musician. And then he's kind of like sizing him up when he bows. I love it.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Such a subtle insult.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't have to do that, though.
No. He's like, yeah, you wrote this like bizarre thing, but I fixed it. He's like, okay, whatever. And then this is where you see some of the what would be racism of the time.
Yes.
The anti-German attitude.
Yes. He has to fight for it almost. Yes,
right. And then he's like, we didn't agree to that. And I love that Mozart's active in this conversation. Do you know what a libretto is?
No.
Because I didn't. I had to look it up. It's like the premise of a play.
Oh, okay.
The libretto.
Oh,
so
great.
he has this premise written down, and the music director's like, have I seen it? And he's like, nah, I don't think so. And he's like, you better show me your premise so I can approve it. And this is so funny too. He's like, you're gonna love it. It's you know, it's in a brothel. And these guys are all like, I like how Mozart holds his ground here.
Yeah, he knows how to take up for himself.
Yes.
It's going to have a little bit of Zevia here.
Oh, nice. What is that? Zevia?
Yeah, I'm not sponsored by them or anything.
If you were, you'd have to drink it sideways.
But this is Zevia. My favorite is ginger ale, and it's like really low sugar. And
oh, okay,
actually, there's no sugar in it.
Oh,
it's
perfect.
Like a hint of flavoring and stevia.
So yeah, here's where you have the chamber guardians challenging Mozart openly.
Okay.
It's like a schoolyard taunt, which is how I describe it and you'll see this in other all sorts of stories. But the chamber guardian establishes himself as like the person who's in charge of the chamber. Yeah. And the heroine's job is usually to overcome the social challenge. Now, it's rare that the heroine absolutely buries the challenge, but we get that here. Right here. I've memorized it. And look at him. No one believes it.
Even the emperor, he's like, yeah, show me.
Yeah. So this is a test.
Yeah.
Now, Mozart must pass this test. I've memorized something I've heard from one hearing only. And as a viewer hearing it, you're like, oh, wow, he played it better than the emperor.
Yeah.
He's like, see, these Germans can play music. He's like getting into his own music for a second. This is amazing because you can hear the difference and make up your own mind that this guy's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like every viewer across the world watching this on this big screen is like, ooh, he's way better.
Yeah.
Look at him like,
Like,
dude.
what?
I was like,
It's
and
definitely
Mozart, what's that?
it's definitely a battle amongst gentlemen because, people will probably start swinging. Like, "How dare you ruin my music?"
And he goes off. I mean,
Yeah,
he embellishes to the highest degree, and it's not even a contest.
yeah,
This is nolo contende. He cannot contend with Mozart. This is so much better. And he did
yeah.
it off the top of his head, whereas Salieri stayed up all night, working so hard on the march that he just dismisses and exceeds.
Oh my god.
Yikes, look at, he's pissed.
Yeah, he is very, very angry.
Yeah, and I
And
always was enamored by the idea of a character who renounces God and makes God his enemy. And it's like,
yes,
who
yes.
is this guy?
Yeah,
You think you're going to beat God?
yeah. Oh. Oh, so there's something so identifiable though about his pain.
Yes.
I'm gonna tear up.
Yeah, well, it's true
Oh,
to feel like you have this desire to do something, and then when you do it, you're falling short.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
can't seem to do anything about that. And
yeah,
and it's tough. And what's interesting is he's grappling with that. And it's hard. A lot of people don't accept where their limits are. And he actually is so aware that Mozart's up here and he's here. And I think that's part of what makes us kind of like him, even though he's technically despicable.
yes, yes,
He's so honest with us. He's like, yeah, I wanted to be the best, and it's obvious that this guy's the best, which means that I made a fake bargain with God. God lied to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally. And here, I guess she's trying to get him to answer, like, oh yeah. And this is a small form of sabotage too,
Yeah,
where he's trying to talk her out of joining the opera
yeah.
because it's in a brothel. He's like, oh, it's below you. It's a little lowbrow.
He
Huh?
I won't give away why yet, but it's very interesting to see his interaction with this young lady.
Madame Cavalieri, yeah.
Yeah,
And so the one thing that bugged me about her in this scene is she goes, what does he look like? And he's like, you'd be disappointed. And then she goes, looks don't concern me. Only talent interests a woman of taste. I would have been
yeah,
like, well, then why'd you ask what he looks like?
yeah.
Like,
So true. Yeah, so true.
like obviously you care a little bit. And this is a beautiful transition here. Beautiful. We zoom in on her, and now we skip ahead. She got the lead role, and you could tell Mozart's enamored with this performance out of her.
Yeah, yeah. And look at
And he's
he's
up
like,
there like,
"What?"
how did that?
I love it.
And the dialogue here is great. There she was. Like, this guy's like, look at him. Mozart's just enamored with her.
And they're looking at in each other's eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the greedy songbird she was. Like, you dream of penciling this in one day in your writing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
These edits are great.
Yeah.
I love the cuts to him. You can't do anything about it. He's just up there sweltering in jealousy.
Yes. Oh, and there's his fiance up there.
Yeah. And it's
The
weird
lip
because
syncing is really great.
the opera's in English,
Yeah,
which I think is a bizarre choice as well.
yeah. Which we thought I thought it was gonna be in German, but
Yeah.
maybe German is English in, I guess.
Oh, in this world.
Yeah, yeah, this
Yeah,
in
actually,
this
I think you're
idea.
right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. And then this is so identifiable. He's just admitting, I had a thing for this chick. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't help it. His acting is so good through here. The creature.
Yeah.
So you know how my first book took place in the Byzantine Empire in
Oh,
Constantinople, and this
wow.
this play takes place in Constantinople.
Oh, wow.
That's like a Byzantine emperor right there. He saves a woman from the brothels. Apparently he abducts her and saves her. And now this is one of the most iconic scenes in all of film coming up. The scene where Mozart's doing this while he's directing.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys, if I haven't been looking at your comments. It's just been so.
Right there. That's one of the most
Yeah.
iconic shots. And then it cuts to
Yes,
Aaron
yes,
like
yes. Where you
not
going?
happy.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, okay. Putin's cat says this is the time of the Holy Roman Empire. Incredible.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I love the background with the. I love the stage play itself, like the background. So they have the water moving and
Oh
everything.
yeah. Yeah, with like the ship setting sail.
Yeah.
Look at it. The bodyguards come out. I just love the choreography that they thought all this through. She's
Yeah.
let's get down there. Let's go see him. And then here's the funny part where you could see the jealousy on the actress, Madame
Yes.
Cavalieri.
Yes. I wish it was more a part of the film, but of course that would throw things off.
Well, in the theatrical cut, they cut it out even a little bit more.
Oh, wow.
There's an extended scene coming up in the director's cut where they really get into the actress's jealousy. 26 years old. This is so funny. Trying to sound like he knows what he's talking about. He still can't figure out how to.
Too many
Too many
notes.
notes. He's like, that's it. Bingo. He gets uncomfortable. Right. On the whole. Just
He's
cut
like,
a few and it'll be perfect. And I love Mozart saying, which few notes did you have in mind? So right here is where we find out, or the actress finds out, that Mozart has a fiance, and she is not happy about that news.
yeah, which lets you know that they had a thing.
Yeah, Mozart has, made some inroads.
Yeah. Look at her. She's so cute.
Look at the actress. She's like, you what? And then of course, Mozart's trying to navigate both women here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to see you, honey. Oh, and you, I'm really sorry. And the landlord. I love how awkward it is to lift her up.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yes, he needs his father's consent.
Not fully.
Yeah.
26 years old. That's incredible. You see Madam Kit. She's like, Mary.
She is pissed.
Oh yeah, she is like ready to punch him.
Yeah.
And look at Mozart keeps looking at her like, and then this chick passes
Oh
out.
no.
Well, there it is.
I love that he's like a young emperor and he's like really like he likes the arts but doesn't know what the arts are and
Yes. Yeah.
he's just like, okay, let's get out of here. Let's bounce.
Well, so that was art. On
Yeah.
to the next thing.
I fulfilled my quota art for today and let's get the heck out of here.
That's a great observation too. And this was an added scene. Him throwing water on her. This is added in the director's cut only.
Yeah.
You can see the actress is probably happy it got cut.
Like, yeah.
We really need to show. So a lot of this is added.
Oh, really?
Some of it was in the theatrical cut, a small part of it. Okay, why would it matter to you? And he just tells her what she wants to hear. And
oh boy.
See, she's a little catty here, so that's probably why some of these scenes got cut.
Yeah.
I'm really great, aren't I?
Yeah.
He's like, It's funny. Mozart totally does not take the bait here either.
Yeah. Oh boy.
No. I am not going to be introducing you to.
Yeah. Oh, look at
So, and then it picks up here. This is where it picks up. In the theatrical cut, she hits him with the roses.
Okay.
And storms off looking back at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to that. At that moment, I knew he had her right here.
Yeah.
So all that got cut in the theatrical cut.
Yeah. That's so sad because like, even though he was saying that, he was going to be chased, and he probably didn't have any plans on doing anything with her. He really loved that lady.
Mm-hmm.
And this was really like, broke his heart. He couldn't have anything. He couldn't have even her.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, it hits you on so many fronts, the envy and the jealousy and the sense of unfairness to it all. Yeah. Not only does he get the talent, he also gets the girl and he gets everything he wants and he's totally undeserving of it. And everyone agrees with me. I have a consensus. This guy's bad news. And I always thought that was a spooky line as a kid where he's like, for the first time in my life, I began to think really violent thoughts. And it's like, whew, that's a little shift in tone.
Yeah.
This is an added scene too. This is not in the theatrical cut.
Hmm.
He goes, yes, sir. Look how happy the bishop is that he back. He's like, he is a brat. He's like, I got him to say it. Another funny little tie-in to Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
Roy Dotrice, who plays the dad,
Yes.
he does the narration to the Lord of the Rings trilogy in audiobook.
Oh, really?
Which that's the first time I listened to Lord of the Rings was, or read it, was on audiobook. And I remember being so happy. I was like, it's Mozart's dad reading it to me.
He's been in so many movies.
Yeah,
And
he's got a pretty extensive career.
yeah.
In my head, this is who Roy Dotrice, like, this is his role for me.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
remember him
there's
as.
a couple other like outstanding things. Look at this. This is like gold everywhere. It's like
Everywhere.
put gold on this, gold on that.
Is that what your room looks like, retro?
I wish. Just make it all gold. we get some statues, big fat gold. It's beautiful though. It's like somebody just went off.
Someone had some dough, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, let's do it all gold.
Yeah.
Oh, here's that scene where I remember, this is what I know in my old notes when I was looking at my scribbling. He crumples it up and the deer scatter. Yeah. As if they heard him crumpling it up. And I just thought that was such a brilliant transition as a kid.
Yeah, it is. It's really great.
He misunderstands. Oh, it's like, oh, thank you. That's the biggest honor in the world. Not you. Maria Kelly, yes. Mozart, Amadeus won Best Picture. Best Picture. It won Best Actor, and both Mozart and Salieri were nominated. It won Best Costume Design, Best Art Direction. It cleaned up in 1984 in the Oscars. Cleaned up.
Yes, it did. It did. And thank you so much, Keith E,
11.
for keeping the peace, if you will, and keeping the high standards in the chat. I really appreciate you being the moderator today. Oh, and William Blake Hall is here. Hi, William Blake Hall. Great to see you. Let's see. It says one thing I will find wild about the story. Well, we find Salieri's music not remembering much nowadays. In his time, we were technically considered the top talent.
Right. So what he's saying is Salieri was a big dog. He was, he's the court composer to the Emperor of Austria.
Yeah.
So he was like top tier.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of how the author, Peter Schaefer, is the play. This was originally a play, and Peter Schaefer wrote this as a playwright, and he set it up exactly the way you're doing it, to where although Salieri had the prestige and the social backing, and he did everything right, it was Mozart's music that rose to the top in the end anyway, because it's God's music. So it doesn't matter if you have social status, if you could character assassinate Mozart or suppress his brilliance. None of it mattered, because in the end, God's music rises to the top. And that's why that scene in the beginning where everyone remembers Mozart's music, but they don't remember any of Salieri's music, because your music, you may have been great in your time, but the music was ultimately forgettable. But not so with God's music, as written by Mozart. Yes, yes. Yeah, see him grab another snack here. And she sees him do it in the middle of the lesson. And then he's just like, shall we continue? Now, all this was added. Look, he grabs another as he leaves.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll see you later. So now this is in the theatrical cut, but that little scene in between was added. So now I'll explain this because I think it's important on some level. He tries to seduce her here, right?
Yeah, in a weird way.
Right. Well, he goes beyond this. In the theatrical cut, all of this is removed. Not
Oh,
this, not this exchange here. The part where he's like, if you want your husband to have the post, you have to come back to my place tonight. And she's like, I'm a married woman. He's like, that's the price.
yeah.
That was cut out. And then there's
Okay.
a whole scene that you said we might have to pixelate.
Yeah.
Because there's nudity in it. All
Yeah.
of that is cut out in the theatrical
Okay.
cut. All of it. So in the theatrical cut, it's merely implied that he tried to seduce her. And what's weird is, as a kid, I always thought he was trying to seduce her, but it was never proven in the film. So when I saw the director's cut, I was like, he does try to seduce her. Like, oh my God, like he goes all the way with it.
Yeah.
Like we're talking casting couch level,
Yes. Yeah.
thing. So as a kid, I was even sensing that he was up to something, because he says, I come from a small town, just like your husband. And she's like, okay. So it always seemed like he was, planting seeds there or something. And
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he just was seeing if he could do it.
well, I think my interpretation is that he was trying to seduce her. And I think in his head, he's like, I'm gonna get Mozart's wife.
Yeah.
Win for Salieri.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is, when she accepts his offer, she shows up, and she's not just like showing up. She's like going to put on a show for him. She's like very flirtatious with him. She takes Mozart's music and throws it on the ground. I think he becomes even more jealous, because he knows she's just playing the part, and she's doing it for Mozart. She's willing to sleep. She is so loyal in a weird way to her husband that she's willing to sleep with him to make sure her husband gets success. Excuse me. And I think that bothers him even more, that his wife is this willing to go the distance for Mozart, to get that kind of loyalty out of her, when he doesn't deserve it. In his mind, he doesn't deserve it. And if you notice in the scene that comes up, he doesn't turn on her until she throws the music on the ground. So once again, music is like we don't mess around with music. Both characters treat music very, very respectfully. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's my take. What did you think was going on? Like, what did you think?
Definitely that. Well, one thing I do love is they do make a big deal about this candy. These are Italian candies that he's got here.
Oh yeah, Roman chestnuts and brandied sugar.
I know, it's like everything is with sugar and brandy. I think there was something else that he does, like a cream that he makes with brandy.
Yes, totally infused with rum, I think he said.
Yes. So he's not only like he's just a little bit on the sauce there, but also with lots of sugar.
A little bit on the sauce. And Alexi goes for another one here.
Yeah.
This is another brilliant scene where, as he flips the pages, the music score changes in the background.
That is just so incredible. That is just so incredible. What a great way to edit that and portray the sound of what he's reading and translate it into music. It's like,
totally.
Yeah.
And as a writer, you could not do that in writing.
No, it's only music. I can trying to think of some other way that you could think about that. Maybe if you were thinking about paintings or something, but this is unique to music.
Right. To music and to visual medium.
Yeah.
This is where cinema can do something that other art cannot. You can change the score. You can, right, and match it up to the visuals, and then you get this brilliant acting performance. Just place one note, and there would be diminishment. Meaning, like, this is perfect music right out of the oven. No edits of any kind, he says. Like, it's remarkable. If I I could understand as a creative person being jealous of somebody to that extent, being like,
Oh, yeah.
you're able to do this great level of creative work for free?
Yeah.
What?
Without effort. Yeah. Right off the
Yes.
bat. I mean, a lot of, artists have to face this all the time, or
Yeah.
like with other artists, like, oh, that person's really, really talented.
And there's nothing you could do, right? Like we
Yeah.
all have our built-in limits.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say there's nothing you could do, but there's usually those talent gaps, and it does feel helpless.
Look at how
He's
he's
lost
in
in it.
ecstasy. He is, and yeah. He's like, "You poor child, you don't understand. I don't know what this is."
Exactly. Yeah. He doesn't really even appreciate the music like he does.
Yeah.
So this is where the theatrical cut cuts out. So this is all in. And she goes, so you'll help us? Cut. So it's her asking if you'll help us, and then it cuts. So
Yeah.
all of this is only in the theatrical or in the director's cut, all this. Come back tonight. She's like pulling her hand away.
I was surprised to hear him say this, because I was like, oh, this is not his style. He's not really that into. He's more into music than he's into women.
Right.
He made that promise he wasn't gonna do. He wasn't gonna.
Yeah, and now here he is insisting on infidelity. Like this is pretty unforgivable, really, what he's doing. Like
Yeah.
you're forcing her to do this in exchange.
Yeah.
Like this would be illegal. So that's where it picks up. She goes, so you'll help us? And then he turns around and walks away in the
Yeah.
theatrical cut.
And before he walks away, he steps on the music
He
pages.
steps on the music. Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, this was kind of weird. Yeah, I absolutely think that was going on in his mind. Like, I can have her, but
Yeah. None of this is in the theatrical. Like I said, and I couldn't tell you, because for decades, as a young kid, all the way up to teenage and young man, every time I watched this, I was like, I think he's trying to seduce Mozart's wife. And then I finally see the director's cut, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot behind that
yes.
premonition.
And guys, don't be upset if you see the screen go blank or something else go on top of our screen, because there may be a moment I have to blank
There's
out.
a little bit of PG-13 coming up.
Yeah. It'll look like this. So,
Okay.
yeah. Just as
I like how he's pretending to be busy.
His servant is so interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of a loiterer. He kind of lurks in the background.
Yeah. And he speaks really slowly. Oh yes, a young what's her name? The girl who plays Miranda.
Oh, from Sex and the City.
Yeah, she's in this too. I forgot.
That's right. It's
So
funny because
young.
my wife loves Sex and the City, and this is one of my favorite movies. And I was like, "Look, the actress is in here." And then in Star Trek 6, Kim Cattrall is in it.
Yes, yes.
So I was like, "See, all these have crossovers into my movie." See, and so she's into it here. Like
Yes.
she is playing the part. She doesn't look like conflicted.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, my husband thought blah, 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 blah. I'm like, she is down. And look at him. He really doesn't know how to play this at this point.
I think he would have gone through it with it if she wasn't into it as a means of
Power.
punishing, power and like punishing him somehow through her.
I think you're right, Retro. I think that her taking control, she's grabbing an upper hand in the situation is what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that takes some power away from him. And I think that and then right here is where she seals it. She's like, do we need this in it? And she throws it on the ground in a disrespectful way. And the music hits. And you see that's what stops him from, now he's angry.
He's like, what?
You do not disrespect.
You disrespected music. You harlot.
you
Get her out of here. How dare you?
Yeah, and it's funny, he does let her go through with part of this before he rings the bell. He's like, I'll cut this off in a second.
Yeah, yes. So sorry, guys, if you see the screen is a little blotched out, is because
there's some slightly adult content.
Slightly grown up.
You know, this might sound bizarre. I never thought of this until kind of recently, but as he leaves her alone, and then he says to the door, you know, she throws this candlestick and it's heavy.
Yeah.
Right here. All I could think of it, that must be a real gold candlestick, and she threw it at a real set. Like, that's not a movie set. That's like a real palace. You know, she must have damaged the wood there.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that okay in a movie that you damage a palace for the scene? You know? So in the theatrical cut, it cuts to all that, and then she's crying in bed.
Yeah.
And again, without the other context, it just looked like she is crying, like almost out of nowhere. Yeah. So now it makes this scene make more sense as well.
More sense, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Because that's a complex scene to break down psychologically. Like, what's going on? What's really happening here?
Yeah. 100%. And this is a broken truce. I mean, this is
Jack Lumen is here. Hi, Jack Lumen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is where he makes this is his broken truce, right?
Right. Correct. Now, this scene is not in the correct. This is not in the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
Jack Coleman, or Jack Lemmon, Wendy Carlos covered Salieri. Wendy Carlos is a music composer. I think she did Tron. What was the other one? I've seen her in a couple. Anyway, and she was trans back in like the 70s.
Okay. Wendy Carlos. Never heard of that person.
Wow. She does the soundtrack to Tron. And I just found out she does it for something else that I really like. I was like, oh, there's Wendy Carlos again.
See, when he gives that concerned look, I was like, oh, maybe he thinks that his wife has told him something.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Herr Mozart is here.
Yeah, like, oh boy. Ooh.
yeah, the old cartoon.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, there's your other sweet, like pudding or custard or something.
Okay, so watch what Mozart does when he finds out what kind of
because it's Italian.
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
It's like, oh man, this is great. He's like, yeah, it's Italian. He's like, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of this is in the theatrical cut. Him asking for money and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Oh,
none of it. The Shining. Thank you, Sean. That's the other one.
Oh, really?
So yeah, Wendy Carlos also, I think, contributed. I don't know if she did it all herself, but she also did The Shining. Yeah, A Clockwork Orange is another one.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll tell you one thing, though. Murray has like the best smile in this. Every time he smiles, it's like you wonder, like, is he really, really smiling, or is he?
Yeah, he comes
Just,
across. He really convinced me that like he was an aristocrat.
oh yeah, yeah,
He always felt like he's duplicitous. The
yeah.
feature of the masked Minotaur,
Oh, totally.
social apex character. He's the court composer. He holds some power there, and yet secretly he's like he has this possessive love.
Yeah.
Of course, this is two men, but still, it is a possessive love,
Oh yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Italian. Oh yeah, here we go.
Crema mascarpone.
Yeah, look,
Oh.
Italian. I'll have some patriotic feelings. He sets it down. He's not going to.
It's like, oh well, I guess that was good for a moment.
Yeah, all these scenes were added. It does make Mozart look, very sheepish.
Oh yeah, it would change the character quite a lot, I suppose.
It changes the tone for him because in the
Mhm.
theatrical cut, he kind of holds on to his dignity a little bit longer. In fact, in the theatrical cut, you get a sense that he always holds on to his dignity. He's just losing social prestige,
Yeah.
but he's fine with it, is how it comes across in the theatrical cut. And then here's the scene you were talking about.
Oh yeah, this is great. He's just great.
And he
It
plays
was
Baron von Harkonnen, right? In the
yes,
1984.
yes, in 1984 as Dune, yeah.
Oh, same year.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day and it was hysterical. It said, in 1984, I went to the movies and I saw Dune and I saw Ghostbusters. And then it shows the same clip but different. And it goes, in 2021, I went to the theater and I saw Dune and Ghostbusters. And then it
Nice.
shows a third one that goes, in 2024, I went to the theater and I saw Dune and Ghostbusters.
That's funny.
Isn't that bizarre that those two movies, which are not prevalent throughout history, like in America, it's just those 3 years.
That is really cool. That's a great connection.
Yeah.
I love that painting in the background. I've seen it so many times. It's
Really?
nice that they put it there. Yeah,
Wow.
that one painting in the background.
Yeah, it's funny. This guy's like pretty like aggressive.
Yeah.
Play. And then, of course, so Salieri, in typical masked Minotaur fashion,
Hmm.
uses social forces to attack the heroine.
Yeah.
Pretty typical, actually. And so he has sabotaged this moment because he's like, yeah, he molested female students. So then Mozart, who doesn't know, is like, maybe if you left me alone with your daughter.
They're like, no way. Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. And you don't, he does have a roving eye. I wouldn't trust him either, but
yeah, you're right.
Not,
he does.
Not that he has done that before. It's kind of mean to put that out there.
Yeah, well, you are slandering him.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like he comes home at like midnight with these like actresses and stuff, and his wife's sitting there. I'm like, man, that would be a tough one to pull.
Yeah.
That's why.
And she does try to watch him as much as possible, but he's too wild.
But I think that the way she's portrayed in this film, Mozart's wife, Constanza, she never loses her own sovereignty, I'll call it. She always strikes me as smart and capable, and she has some in her role. I have something I call the emergent heroine, where a female character or a hero kind of emerges through the conflict as one of the most clear-headed possible leaders. And Constanza is one of those characters. She becomes more and more clear-headed as he kind of descends into madness.
Oh yeah, that's sad. Yeah, it's sad because she has to then, go on without him. Look, Also, would you call that a shield maiden moment when she went to Salieri?
Um,
Because she's
it is,
doing
yes.
something to sacrifice herself for help, if you will.
Right. So, well, from her perspective, if we reorient the story and put Stanzi as the heroine, then yes, absolutely. But she has another one, and I'll talk about this. And this is the iconic scene from the cover
Yes.
of Amadeus, the dark clad figure, the dark father figure, which is extremely archetypal, right there in the movie Mozart. And
Yeah.
by the way, the father is the beast is allied to Mozart.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which I'll put. Remember, I said there's a doppelganger effect between the beast as ally and the masked minotaur.
Oh, yes.
The masked minotaur dons his costume later in
Oh,
the
yeah.
film. It's amazing how this repeats.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah, that's so awesome.
Totally. So it's a literal doppelganger at some point. But there's a shield moment with Stanzi. And by the way, what you said qualifies. Because like I said, that because she's putting herself in harm's way on behalf of her husband,
Yes.
that's what makes Salieri not accept the moment. He's like, and he has the loyal wife willing to go all this way for him.
Yeah.
I won't even let her do it. I'm not even going to let her have, or him, the satisfaction of her getting him the post this way. Like he won't even do it.
Yeah.
But there's a moment later where the actor Schicknader, from the kind of the lowbrow theater, is really yelling at Mozart. You know, I'm paying these people to wait for you, and he's yelling at Mozart.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She steps in front of him, and she blocks the actor. And Mozart, if you look, is behind her, almost like a child, like. And she is standing there, and she's the one who's got her. She's tough in that scene, and I love it. I don't know what it is. It must be the actress, the way she is in. He goes, "What's so intelligent about a Requiem?" And she's like, "Money." And it's just like the end. That's the end of the story. But yeah, Stanzi is actually very tough in this, and I love the actress Elizabeth Barrage's performance. And I think she took a side character and elevated this character to someone who I believe is a force to be reckoned with in the story.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
I just wanted, let me see, there was one thing I wanted to say. Oh, Maria Kelly says, fun fact, the theater showing the 1984 version of Dune actually handed out a glossary of terms from the novel to people as they entered the theater. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was too complicated. So they were like, oh, yeah, here's a little breakdown of what's going on.
Muad'Dib.
Yes. I actually want one of those. That's like been my one of my holy grails is to
Really?
get one. Yeah, is to get a copy. I don't want the actual thing. A copy of the breakdown that they had.
The Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
That's a great fun trivia fact right there.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria Kelly.
And you know that Stanzi here is like, thanks for nothing. You know, like she's like in her nightgown and she's meeting his dad for the first time. Like Mozart has no social tact and has no clue that she would not want to meet him for the first time like this.
I know.
And then of course, what?
The father is just so like, oh God, this is terrible.
It's a nightmare for him. And he zeroes right in. Are you expecting? She's like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God, you're blowing it. Like you're doing this all wrong, son. I love this party, by the way.
Oh, yeah, me
masquerade.
Too. Oh, it's wonderful.
It actually looks fun. Like sometimes you watch parties in movies and they always look like they're made for the movie. This looks like a blast.
Oh, right. And then they're playing musical chairs.
Yeah. It's such a simple game, but they make it look appropriate to the era.
Yeah. It's
There's
wonderful.
Schicknader. That's our introduction to him, actually. And you know what's interesting is in the Heroine's Labyrinth book, I have the Cult of Deception, and
Okay.
the original name for that was the Masquerade. And
Mm.
I do mention that in the book, but I always keep an eye out for masquerades and heroine-centric stories, like in Labyrinth with David Bowie. There's literally a masquerade where she's dancing with. And here again, in a story that absolutely follows the Heroine's Labyrinth, you have a masquerade. It's just great.
Daddy is not impressed.
And what a fun scene that was, where he's frowning, he's smiling, he's frowning again. Oh, and I love this scene. Love it.
And there's Salieri mixing it up with the poor people. I guess they're not quite poor, but they're not the rich, the ultra rich.
Yeah. And Family Guy spoofs this scene.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene where Peter Griffin has the mask. He goes, "Play Peter Griffin." I love how the laugh is what catches his attention. You love owls, Retro?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Oh, I didn't know that was your thing.
Well, that's not my thing, but I I like them.
Oh, okay. Someone had mentioned it in the chat. I was like, oh, I didn't know she was into owls.
Oh, who said that? Let me see. Oh, Amy Jo Johnson says, lands on Retro. Hoot hoot. Aw, thank you. I love a pet owl. I would love the one from Bubo.
I was just gonna say Bubo from Clash of the Titans.
I want that one.
I will speak to the gods and see if they will engineer one for you.
That would be wonderful.
You can understand that thing?
Oh, yeah.
This is a great scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he shows off quite a bit.
Well, this idea of him, see how he's serious again. He went from a cackle, he's laughing and just being goofy, and now he's playing music and he's very serious about it again. This is great.
Yeah.
Because even as someone in the audience, you're like, oh my God, what?
What a genius. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I appreciate about stories, when you don't have to take their word for it that this guy's a genius. They show you. Yes. And they convince you he's a genius.
Yes. A little showing.
Now, I did notice the little hack here. His other hand is just hitting one note over and over again. This is great, because this is a serious humiliation to Salieri. Play Salieri. Now that is a challenge. He gets all serious.
And then he
he turns into like a monkey.
Yeah.
And everyone's laughing at him. And there's a scene here I always love. He goes, laugh, laugh. Where it goes back to the future and he goes, laugh at me. And it cuts for 1 second. And they show Mozart laughing at him. Such a humiliation. Look at him, look around. Like, what? Look at, they're all just laughing hysterically. So you feel for him. He's the bad guy, but you're like, ooh, that. Yeah. So he will.
That obscene giggle. Oh, Moonbeam is back. Hi, Moonbeam. How are you? Let's see. Says having a little trouble. All right. Well, yes. Technical difficulties. They're just too much.
So yeah, they're setting up his vengeance quest.
Yes.
I always like this scene too. There's something like geometric about the pool table with his thinking, and it seems oddly peaceful. Although I can't imagine him scribbling many notes in between.
I know. It's like
The ball's back already. What is her name? Did someone figure that out?
whose name? Oh, Miranda. I can find out really quickly.
Yeah, Miranda. Laurel. Her name is Laurel in this one.
Cynthia Nixon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's so young. My God.
Yeah, I mean, she's a girl in this.
Yeah. I almost didn't recognize her. I was like, why does she seem familiar? It's like her teeth and her chin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Ennis. I agree. That was God laughing at me.
What happened? Yeah, that was God laughing at me. What a line. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Incredible line. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And sometimes you can feel that way. Like you can feel like life is just not treating you well. It's just like, oh, this has got to be some sort of curse.
Totally. Hey, Retro.
Yes.
Joseph Begay just gifted 10 memberships.
Joseph Begay!
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh my God, Joseph, you are so kind.
That is big dog level there.
Yes, I'm gonna mention all of the people who got yes, I'm just gonna
Real quick, this is an important scene too, because this is the first time we really see her assert herself.
yes.
William Blake Hall. One of his favorite lines is the Emperor's, well, there it is.
Yeah.
I always got a kick out of that too, because sometimes as a writer in certain scenes,
Yeah.
it's really hard to know how to end it. Like if you read amateur writing, you'll have all the, hey, I'll see you later. And okay, I'll see you at the thing. And they go back and forth 3 or 4 times like we would in real life. But in storytelling, you can't do all the little side chatter. So to invent a line like that gets the writer off the hook. You can end the scene with that one line every single time. And he does. Well, there it is. That's beautiful. It's a brilliant device. Look at that pool table too, man. That is some cash.
Yeah. All right, let me get to these who got memberships. Congratulations to everyone who got memberships. We've got Gavin, Blackman, Scotty, R37. Oh my goodness. The Wolfman Heart, 79, Shade, Viking, Colombian Thunder, Jaja Love, K Rut, Hacksaw, M Evans, okay. And Phantom Outsider. Thank you so much, Joseph Begay. Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you. And just to let everybody know who got memberships, the memberships that are gifted expire every 30 days. So in 30 days, it will expire. And then if you want to continue, you can continue your memberships after that. That will be up to you. Also, usually every Monday I put out something brand new. So keep a lookout for that. She's so cute, isn't she?
This was kind of cool too, like this idea of like a concert from the 1700s.
Oh yeah.
Before there was Taylor Swift, we had Mozart.
Yeah. Let's have 5 carriages, please. That was very nice, though.
I mean, look at all that. They had to set all that up with costumes and everything.
Yeah.
Unbelievable set designs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no part of your mind that doubts what you're watching. Like
No.
when you're watching, you're like, okay, it's 1780 or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Like, even the pianos look like they've been played
That
and
sounds like a
played and played.
villain looking scene.
Yes. Yes, it does. Like, everything looks really lived into.
Yeah,
Like,
and the dad was
or
right. He was like, "Oh, so now we're gonna let a perfect stranger in our house."
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Moonbeam is a pretty big Power Rangers fan, huh?
Yes, well, Moonbeam, if we could concentrate on this movie, any news or
I remember
information
him.
that we
He was
can have.
mentioning and analyzing something. The Power Rangers, I think, in the last time as well.
Yes, yes. If we can just back off. I love Power Rangers, but not. It's not time for talk about that right now. Let's concentrate
What's
on.
that?
Let's talk about this movie. If you have any information on this movie, please do share it with us, or any thoughts on the movie.
That is so funny that that's Miranda.
Yeah, yeah. That is.
I always appreciated that scene too, where it's almost like standing in for the audience, holding the piece of history, the quill in his hand that Mozart writes from.
Yeah, this is the part.
The Marriage of Figaro.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, oh.
This is another phenomenal scene where he's able to win over the emperor.
Yes, yes. He was definitely set up to fail.
Oh, big time. Yeah, he's being sabotaged by these
Yeah.
bureaucrats.
Oh, it's just.
And this one's interesting. Like in the first Chamber Guardian scene, he buries the challenge. This one, he barely survives. Like he wins, but it isn't a smooth, it's not a dominating performance here.
Oh my God! I want to also. Moonbeam's birthday was yesterday as well. So happy birthday, Moonbeam!
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. I wish I had gone live yesterday so I could tell you it in person on your birthday, but happy birthday. Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Mary Kelly says, fun fact, Cynthia Nixon ran for governor of New York a couple of years ago. That is really cool.
I vaguely remember that. I always thought this was interesting commentary too, because this is the age of revolution. The American Revolution against the British aristocracy, the French
Yes.
Revolution. So he's saying, you're flirting with these kind of revolutionary ideas. He's saying, I just took the premise. I took out all the class warfare stuff in it. Love again. See, this is great because it shows his passion for his music again.
Yeah.
They all don't want Mozart to get off the ground. They know he's convincing when he's passionate. I love it. Guess. That's like what a 6-year-old would say.
He's so excited about it.
"20 minutes."
He's like, I don't know, cannot do his laugh.
Yeah,
This is
right?
the best laugh.
Hmm.
Yes, he's right.
I love this line, yeah. Hmm. That was a diplomatic way of saying that.
Yeah.
This is great. He's talking about some of those timeless archetypes that we like to talk about.
Mhm.
Such a little kid. He's making fun of him.
Huh. Oh.
Whoops. The embarrassed laughter. The emperor's really caught he's in a real pickle.
Yeah. William Blake says Figueroa is bad, quote unquote bad. Today
It's a
everyone knows
bad.
it.
This is another one of the great transitions of the film. I like how right when, huh?
I like how subtle he's like, oh, please.
I like, so he's like, please. I like how all the bureaucrats are like, oh God, like right when he said, it's like they know the emperor's about to get one over.
Yeah.
Not from any oppression. He's measuring his bed. Wait. And here we go, the scheming bureaucrats.
The chamber guards, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I love how Salieri plays it here. I think we should try to help Mozart all we can. Like help him Protect them from the Emperor's anger. I like how he acts like they all know this. That was such a conniving way to play that. We should help Mozart, protect him from the anger, from this other secret I found out.
These guys have like they're got their hawk eyes on this play. They're like, okay, where are the problems?
100%.
They're like, oh, they're dancing to music. Oh.
I've seen enough.
See them lighting all the candles for the show.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yes, there's a couple scenes where you'll see that. That's what I'm saying. The attention to detail in this was so incredible.
Yeah. Oh, good. They have hundreds and hundreds of them to light.
Yeah, thousands, you would imagine.
Yeah.
In fact, the book I'm writing, book 2 for Theodora, and some of my knowledge of palace life comes from this movie.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. The idea that you have to light all these candles, and there could be thousands if you have all these cavernous rooms and all that.
Yeah. He's going directly to the.
He's rushing to the arms of his own detractor.
Yeah. Like, help me. And they're like, oh, I'm going to do everything I can to help you.
Yeah. Salieri plays this great too. He's like, I'll see what I could do.
It's like, just let's do a little talking. She knows to protect them. She knows to protect the music, though.
Mm-hmm. And that's the line from earlier in the film.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to help this guy.
Yeah, this was a lucky moment for him. I like the way he's like, I just want to sneak in here and just don't stand for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as you were.
The way he's like, what's going on here?
He's like, well, look at them. They look ridiculous. The best is when it's coming up where Mozart thinks that Salieri, and he waves to Salieri. Salieri's like, go on. I've got it.
Yeah. love it. He's like, come on, make sense, people.
No, he's like, no, no, no.
This is very important operatic work.
Yeah.
Make sure that the plays go on as they're supposed to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's got no other statecraft to worry about right now. Look at this. He's like, thanks, Salieri. He's like, no problem.
Yeah.
I did that for you.
Yeah. It's perfect.
And then another great transition. Bring the set piece back in, and instead of another rehearsal, we go right to the final product.
Yeah.
He does that several times, and I think it's just great stuff. This chick's dabbing all the sweat off of him. I need someone like that at the gym.
Yeah. Oh man.
See, again, this is more analysis of the actual music, and I love how that's baked into this, because what you're really hearing is the author.
Yeah.
Telling you what they appreciate about the music.
Yeah.
As Salieri.
This could be really great for people who aren't really interested in music to learn about music or learn how to analyze music. I think this is really.
I totally agree. This movie got me into classical music.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I didn't see this when I was a child, though. I would have really loved it.
Yeah, I think I was lucky to have seen it. And like I said, I'm into in 1984. I'm 8 years old. I'm into Star Wars. I'm into Star Trek. I'm into sci-fi and fantasy. So for this type of a movie to have captured me so thoroughly, it just speaks to the brilliance of the film, because I'm not the target audience. I shouldn't have been. And yet I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, they spend some time showing you the play.
Yeah.
My impression was that they actually, that the director said, I want you to actually make scene 4. Get the actors, get the costumes, make scene 4 as though you're going to perform it in front of us. And and they put all these other people in the costume in the crowd, because with the Emperor yawning. Yeah, you see, he's like, I saw some. I know it. I know something. Another great transition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a skill to make these transitions, because they don't have to feel interconnected. It's very
no, and yeah, and they're not the kind of transitions that where you have like scenes interlap on top of each other visually, kind of, but it's like finishing off the sentences of something else.
Totally right. I like how Salieri appeals to his arrogance here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, God.
Of course. He gets all uppity about it.
And then he's like,
It is weird how Mozart keeps coming to Salieri for advice.
Yeah. That state statue in the back is just totally weirding me out because the eyeballs are like looking right into my soul.
Oh, those statues?
Yeah, that one statue that
Yeah.
it's like,
I
I'm
know
like,
exactly what
no,
you're
no, he's looking inside me.
I see you, retro. I see you from 1984.
Oh man.
I always thought this was an interesting. This is a Salieri piece of music. It's
Yeah.
called Auxer, and it looks like the Ark of the Covenant. There, see it on the stage,
Oh yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Don't open it, guys. It'll melt your face off.
Close your eyes, Marion. Yeah, that's another one of my favorite films, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah.
So this was the year 1780 version of Raiders of the Lost Ark
Yes.
by Salieri. I mean, look at these sets. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. So grand.
Yeah, like a set within a set.
Yeah, yeah. I do love how there's a difference between their direction, you know?
Oh, yeah, like it doesn't look like the same director did the
Yeah.
stage play.
Yeah.
That's a great freaking point. I don't think I ever thought about that.
Yeah.
It looks, yeah, they have their own art feel and vibe to them. And so this is proof that, the Masked Minotaur has restored himself as the best composer.
Yes.
By manipulating the public and perception and by sabotaging Mozart. You're the brightest star in the musical firmament.
Yeah.
Gets an award. So he's winning the battles.
Yeah.
But he loses the war.
Yeah.
And I always, do you notice that the emperor looks up for a second? I always thought that he's looking at Mozart.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that? Because he's like, you're the best musician ever. And he glances up at Mozart, kind of like, you're on the outs, buddy. The bodyguards. And then this is a great answer by Mozart. One hears music like that and just thinks Salieri.
Yeah.
Which could go either way. It could be an insult or a compliment.
He does, like, he never did give him any flowers,
Right. I never knew that music. When I hear him saying, I didn't know someone could write music that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Like it's such a non-answer.
Yeah.
And here he comes home with all these people. Like no wife in the world is cool with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look how many people he's bringing home. Chicks, like come on. Yeah, so this, from a psychological standpoint, this has a huge impact on him.
Yeah.
There's that painting you were talking about.
This is definitely his breaking point, right?
Yes.
Psychologically, he just can't handle this.
Right. So that was structurally, that was his beast as ally. That was the person that kept fighting for him and restoring his social prestige that he kept damaging. So now the beast as ally is gone. And this is brilliant because, and again, this is the author. This is the author interpreting Don Giovanni. He's like, only I knew that the horrifying apparition was his dad, raised from the dead. So I don't know if that's really been discussed in like if I go to Wikipedia page of Don Giovanni, I doubt they're going to say this is a stand-in for his father because his father died around this. That's the author making a connection in seeing the father figure in Don Giovanni and then adding the author's interpretation into Salieri's read of the moment and this play. I love that because that shows a level of depth by the author, by the writer, to come up with that point of view, even to share it with us. And then it gives that scene meaning.
Oh, yeah.
Because he even dressed the commander very similar to, remember we talked about the father raising his arm. They're dressed in a similar manner.
Yeah.
Right there.
Silhouette, everything. It's wonderful.
And you see Mozart no longer is wearing a wig. So we're seeing now that he is falling on harder times.
Oh, Moonbeam says, I first saw Amadeus 1984 when I was 10. Dad rented it on Laserdisc for RBTV and mom and pop video store of my youth, from a mom and pop video store. Oh, cool.
Wow. So Moonbeam,
really
you're
cool.
about the same age I am. Laserdiscs were a big deal when they first came out. So that's some highfalutin stuff you're talking about.
you got to have a Laserdisc machine, right? And
yeah, exactly. Well, it was a big deal in '84 if you had a Laserdisc.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be an entire generation of people that say the first time I saw Amadeus was on Retro Nerd Girls channel.
That would be nice.
Here's where he conceives this plan. And now, by the way, this is the poisoned apple that he's coming up with. When the Minotaur, when the Minotaur is out of options and fails to convince the heroine into captivity, the Minotaur will attempt a poisoned apple, which is an attack of deception on the free will of the heroine. And in this case, Mozart is cast as the, quote unquote heroine, and Salieri is the masked Minotaur. And the doppelganger effect then the doppelganger effect occurs, where the masked Minotaur and the beast as ally look the same. The doppelganger issue. And by the way, they're showing us a lot of this play.
Yeah.
Maria, how can you say that those wigs are ridiculous looking? Yeah, they're so over the top and gray and white. Like, how did that happen?
I love them so much. I'm like, why can't we do that today?
Let's get it going.
Yeah, a new fad, everybody. We're wearing powdered wigs again.
Retro, you should have told me. I would have worn my wig. I would have put the big thing on. I would have had the curls down here. I'd have done all of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, see, I'm devising away a terrible way. So this is a story told by the masked Minotaur.
Yeah.
We are seeing what it is that the motivation behind why this archetype exists. You see fire symbolism. I mean, he wants the sacred fire of Mozart. And in this case, it is actually sacred because he refers to it as God's, it comes from God.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the filmmaker's showing us a lot of this play. It's actually a lot of that should have been cut, I would imagine. But they're just letting us sit back and be a part of the audience here in 1780 or whatever this is. Yeah, Mozart's not looking as good as he was. He's wearing shabbier clothes. He doesn't have the wig now.
Yeah.
And notice that the theater back there is only half full.
Yeah, it's half full, and it's not, the audience isn't as opulent as they were before, with their best clothes ever.
Yeah, it's not the emperor hanging out there.
Yeah.
And this is pretty dark. They're destroying the set of the play. It's pretty, and look, I love that reaction. He's like feeling it. This was brilliant music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just light pitter patter. It's not the grand, there's no medals, there's no flowers.
Yeah.
This is just B-roll of Czechoslovakia in 1980, I guess 83 when they filmed it, 84 when it came out. Here again, we get the mask motifs, deception. So he's buying the costume that his dad wore, which he only knew because he was also secretly in attendance of the musical chairs party.
Yeah.
Darth Plato just appeared.
Oh, Darth Plato! What? I love Darth Plato. So good to see you. Oh no, he's spiraling.
So I
Don't
think
do
this,
it.
right, alcoholism becomes the part of the poison in the
The
poisoned apple
poison
here.
apple, yeah.
So here's the
No,
doppelganger of the beast as ally. It looks just like his dad. And what does he do? He offers him something in order to enslave him, is what he's doing. He's working him to death. So
yeah,
that little pouch of money is along with the internal alcohol, is your poisoned apple for this
yeah,
heroine. And this one proves to be an effective poisoned apple. He doesn't really escape this.
yeah.
So, and in the
It's
poisoned
almost
apple,
I mean, it almost feels like he's going into sort of a captivity bargain by doing this sort of work for the money,
right.
you know?
So the difference is, you're right, it is very captivity bargain like. The difference is that he must be deceived into it this time. The original captivity bargain is usually like, hey, why don't you just
Oh,
chill out? And everything goes, and social harmony will be achieved. So the heroine's like, yeah, you're right. I will give it up. It's better to have peace. That's usually the captivity bargain. The poisoned apple is where the masked minotaur crosses a line.
mm,
It's an attack of deception, which is clearly the case here. He's literally wearing a mask as
yeah,
the masked minotaur. He's the doppelganger, and he's capturing the heroine
yeah,
by controlling the work the heroine does in this case. He's controlling her, or the heroine's sacred fire.
yes,
The
yeah,
heroine's not writing what they want to write. They're writing what the masked minotaur is telling them to write. It is a form of capture.
yes.
You're right, though. It is like a bargain in that he agrees to it. That part is more of like a captivity bargain. The
Yeah,
heroine's willing agree. This is great. Spins around, and it's a mocking smile this time.
yeah. I'm laughing at you, Mozart.
And he's feeling the weight of his father's presence there,
Yeah,
I think he rests his head on the door frame. Maybe that's in a later scene. Oh yeah, this scene. This I love. This is very childlike, where he mocks his dad.
yeah.
Is that in this scene?
I think so. Well, one of the no, maybe it's
Maybe it
later.
is
I
a
think it's
different
later
scene.
where he's like further lost.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Oh, I love this
That is an
music.
Amadeus. What's that?
I've heard this music's like used in so many movies for the that kind of climax of like uh where the bad guys are doing something.
Yeah, the Requiem Mass by
Yeah,
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
yeah,
I also noticed they're really good at continuity in this because behind the priest is a window. And as the tale grows long,
hmm,
they change the time of day in the background. And that's just
yes,
another brilliant attention to detail.
yes, yes, yes. I love that because you get the sense that it starts off in the morning
Yeah.
and it's well into the night that they're
Yes.
talking.
And just so you know, and this is such a stupid small thing, but this movie had such an impact on me. In Faraway Bird, there is a scene where she is talking to someone for a long. She's explaining herself in a very important scene,
Yeah,
and I exactly evoked Mozart because I describe each segment of her life through the time of day it is, and it comes from this movie. And I love that, the skull and crossbones.
yeah.
What passion in the music! Oh, there's a spooky scene here. Hold on, right here. I love it when he looks out. He's like, and God's power, like powerless to stop me. He's like yelling at God again, like you can't stop my plan. What a tone shift, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
And this is good. This
yeah.
reminds me a little. Have you seen the movie Unforgiven?
No.
Okay,
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I have.
Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood,
I think it's
Morgan
been years.
Freeman.
I think I have, but it's been years. I think
Okay,
it's
I
been
won't
years.
dwell on it. But there's a scene where he describes the reality of killing a man, and
Mm.
Gene Hackman really does it. And here he kind of gets in there. He's like, hey, he's like, it's one thing to dream about it. He's
Yeah.
like, but it's actually very difficult. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a kind of a sober approach to your drama here. So here we see he's sliding down the scale even further. This is not even a national theater. This is for the masses. This is like lowbrow stuff.
Yes, yes.
There's nobody, like no one's wearing wigs in there, right?
Yeah.
There's a few maybe, but I
It's
mean,
just
this
for
is the masses. He's not entertaining the aristocracy anymore.
no.
He's pounding wine up there.
Like the whole bottle. Like forget
Mhm.
about putting it in a glass. I mean, that's
Hey, wait, it just takes too
terrible.
much time.
Yeah, terrible delivery system.
Who thought of that? I always get a kick out. There's some guy in the crowd who gets up and he's like dancing in the middle aisle, and I'm like, this is a different crowd, man.
Yeah,
there
yes.
it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is like Weird Al Yankovic. They took his existing music and made fun of it in a semi-respectful way. It's meant to honor him, but also make fun. It's like, just eat it.
Yeah. It's like the Follies and
a parody.
Yeah.
And again, we're seeing a lot of this play.
Yes.
You're like, they're spending time like showing us minutes of a performance.
Yeah.
There's Kenny Baker.
Yeah. Kenny Baker. Nice trick, Kenny.
Yeah, that was some pretty nimble moves there.
Yeah.
There's Kenny.
I was so young.
Bringing a live horse onto the stage as the gimmick.
Poor horse is like sliding all over the place.
William Blake called living with a hernia. And so what's funny too is you could see that in the theater for the masses, it's more gimmicks.
Yeah.
They're doing gimmicks to keep their attention, giving out free food. This is how you get people to the theater.
It actually looks like fun.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a good time.
It's more engagement. I wonder if the emperor saw this, if he would be entertained.
I have a feeling that the aristocracy would find this horrifying.
No, yeah.
These jokes were below us.
But you get the sense the emperor might like them.
What this makes me think of is Titanic.
Ooh, yeah.
Where they have the party in the upper classes. Then he's like, you want to see a real party? And they go down to steerage and it's like Irish music and they're dancing and stuff and drinking Guinnesses. This is like 5 minutes of us watching their stage play.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. But they also have all the candles lit.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look how long it was. And if you're filming a movie, those candles are burning.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it would be a nightmare to film movies with that many candles, knowing you're going to say cut,
Yeah. And you've got to keep putting in fresh ones.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Unless they have special fakey candles where it's like I doubt it back then if they had fake candles, but today they probably use like fake.
Yeah, today they would. I agree with you. But I think all those were real candles.
I think they're all real.
Not at the snobby court. And I like how she steps up here too, Stanzi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love how that's a made-up word. I guarantee you a Triumph Deluxe. What's that? Look at her. She's like, yes.
Yeah. I don't think he has a down payment. Yeah.
I like how he just laughs in her face.
Yeah.
Down payment.
Yeah, no, this place does not have a down payment. Yeah.
Did you ever see that meme with King T'Challa? We don't do that here.
Oh, I never saw that meme.
Oh, with in the movie he goes to bow, and King T'Challa is like, we don't do that here, and it's become like a meme, you know, like what we don't do here.
Mm.
Wait, what's Moonbeam saying? Vincent Schiavelli was Salieri's valet at the beginning of the film Black Panther. Do you know what he means? Let me see something here.
Salieri's ballet at the beginning of the film. I think they're two different statements.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I see who we saw. Vincent Schiavelli. It was the guy who was like, "Open up, Herr Mozart," or "Open up, Herr Salieri," or "We're not going to visit you ever again." This scene is also part of the director's cut only. It was not part of the theatrical.
Yeah. This scene I thought was a little bit much. I mean, we knew he was having problems with money, but why would he go back to this guy? But
yeah, no, this was not in the theatrical cut. I always hated this scene too when I saw it finally.
Yeah, we could not deal with it because he's like drunk, and why would you go to somebody's place drunk and asking for money? Like,
you're right. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. They both play the scene well, though.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know what we're doing here, but let's do it. It looked like he was just about to say yes.
I like how even the maid is like, "Get out."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and that's a little creepy, right?
Yeah.
What great choral music to put to this moment.
Oh yeah. See, now this is where it should. See, that scene. Yeah, that was a scene we didn't need. This is the next scene.
Agreed. I totally agree with you. That now that I've seen it, and I'm happy that I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of the extra stuff was correctly trimmed.
Yeah. I like all the other stuff. Just that scene was like,
yeah.
We didn't need that one.
I got it. Well, the other stuff's good.
Yeah.
It just slows it down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the main issue.
And it gives you a lot more like character context.
You're right.
Whereas I love this we hear this blasting music and him like working on it, and that's all in his head. That's
all in his head. I love it.
Yeah, that's all the music in his head. That's so wonderful.
So the name of my publishing company is Silent Music Press.
Oh wow.
It's that concept that all of the music happens in the silence of your mind,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have music in my mind too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's just the creative force there.
No.
What's interesting too is how the Masked Minotaur fools Stanzi a little bit. She's pretty vigilant, but the Masked Minotaur's, at least for a while, gets past her defenses.
Yeah. I mean, she likes the idea of having some money in the house, and
Totally, from
maybe
a
this is an
practical.
opportunity for him to raise his standards again.
Yep,
But then she realizes, oh, this is working him to death.
right. Yeah, she's tough on him in the end. She doesn't give at the end, but by then it's too late. Yeah, this is where he looks the craziest.
Yeah.
And this guy is actually trying to be reasonable a little bit. We start rehearsal. Can you imagine? We start rehearsals next week. Do you have the script?
Yeah, like what the heck are we working on?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did he needed a plan B.
Yeah.
Like, like, okay, we might not be able to get this done with. Ah.
See, right here, this is what I think of as
Yes.
Stanzi's Shield Maiden moment.
Yes, definitely Shield Maiden.
Because she stands in between them, and look how childish Mozart looks here. And the way she says money, magic flutes, you idiot. There's a big middle finger there, the way she says that, and she wins.
Yeah.
And then he just changes the subject. Oh, I'm crazy?
Yeah.
Her acting here, is good here. She looks pretty frightened and hysterical.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah. He's totally ignoring her trauma here.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's an opera?
He's like, yeah. What was the other part that you were saying?
Yeah, you're frightened. I get all that, but what
Yeah,
about?
I got it. I got it. A minor problem.
I get that you're terrified for your life.
Now I need you to go back.
Go back, find out if it's an opera.
Oh,
So this is
man.
where he slips out of his house at night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I always like this scene where she sees him showing some love and affection to the son, and then she pretends to have not seen it. She pretends to be asleep. Those are very relatable moments, I feel like.
Yeah.
And he's got dolls there. Those are Star Wars figures from 1780.
Yeah, made out of wood.
Yeah, see him as Luke and Vader. Yeah, he didn't say goodbye to her because she pretends to be asleep.
Now let's go drink.
Yeah, let's party. Oh, yeah, this is where he goes a little crazy. He mocks his father.
He's lost his mind.
Interruption by the Masked Minotaur. Are you neglecting my request? See this? I always found this to be a little spooky because Stanzi's beaming in the background. Like, man, he's got them both fooled. Like, if you fool Stanzi,
Yeah.
there's no protection for Mozart.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, if some guy with a mask came to my door, I'd be like, go
Hello,
away
Retro.
forever.
Are you doing
This
your
is
watch
wh-
party, Retro?
Yeah, this is where we call the police. Yes, she recognizes it.
Mm-hmm. He's so childish in some of these scenes.
Yeah.
See, what sucks from a writer's standpoint, he just told her the truth.
Yeah.
And she, I think, misplayed that. He goes, it's killing me. And then she goes,
Yeah.
you're drunk, aren't you? Which it makes it sound like it nullified what he just said. And it was one of the few times I fault her in this whole movie where I was like, oh man, he just said he's trying to open up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in this case, they both have communication issues on both sides.
Oh yeah, 99% of the fault is on his side. He's a problem. My point is that she's been flawless.
Yeah, until now. Yeah,
right. That was, I think, a rare misstep by her.
I agree. I agree. Oh, look at him. He's like, she's sleeping. Oh my God.
He's like,
what?
Oh baby, it's time to head out. Look at him.
Oh man.
Time to play some Black Sabbath and head out.
Look, he doesn't even have pants on.
Yeah, dude, this guy is a wild card right now.
Yeah.
Moonbeam, yes. Salieri, absolutely masked Minotaur. And so this is like the rock star party in the 1700s. It's like backstage Aerosmith, but
yeah,
300 years ago.
That's really cool because they're all like, creative performers.
Yes.
And so they have their own kind of world of fun and maybe partying way too much.
Yeah, like there's talent mixed with spontaneity.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's the walk of shame.
Yes. The most epic walk of shame.
Yeah. That's the Cross Vienna. And I love how when he opens the door, he's like, Stanzi. Like he's going to win her over somehow.
Oh, poor guy. Look at him.
Mozart, what has become of you?
Yeah.
There's a guy with the bread.
Played amongst emperors and kings and...
Man, yes, well said.
Just down the wrong path.
He's like, Stanzi, I'm home.
Yeah.
And I like how she has cleared out of there.
Oh, and she took some things too.
She took all the stuff that she needed.
Yeah, because I don't know why he didn't recognize right away that she wasn't there.
Yeah, he's a little slow here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Boy, everything's empty. She's missing. Maybe she's in the music room. Oh, this was another scene as an 8-year-old kid that I loved. She starts yelling at him and she raises her voice a couple octaves.
Yes.
And he glances up at her and like struck by the muse.
Yes.
And he hears, I love, and he
this
conceives of this.
one of the best operas ever. If you see this opera, it's incredible. If you to hear this particular opera.
I actually, yeah, right here. I love this scene. Salvash! And by the way, this piece right here,
Yes.
in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful sounding pieces of music I've
Oh,
ever heard in my life.
wonderful. Yes.
Her, that little, her solo piece in the
Yes.
Magic Flute.
Hmm.
It's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard in music.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
The Queen of the Night. That is correct.
Yes.
Man, you have an awesome chat.
Yes. You guys are so smart. Queen of the Night. Yes. Yes. I love this. I've seen it so many times, this opera, and it's just
Oh, have you
incredible.
really?
Yeah. Well, oh, I
Why?
didn't tell you. My mom was an opera singer for a short while.
What?
Yeah.
No, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I mean, she didn't do it like she just studied opera.
But
She
still,
wasn't in like any.
but that's not your like. It's not like, oh, I know 5 other people that have that passion. That's a unique passion.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is kind of unique.
Wow. So you've actually seen the Magic Flute sitting in the
Oh yeah,
crowd.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I have not. That sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, it's one of the perks of living in New York City. Go to Lincoln Center anytime and watch just all the really great operas and
Oh my God.
ballets too. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing, Retro. I had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, that's some major creative power when you sit and watch an opera.
Mm.
Yeah, I do. I've never been to the Magic Flute at all, but I've listened to it, and there is something spectacular about it.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane. Anybody who's not really seen the whole like thing, just YouTube, type in YouTube and you'll see it. It's great. Or if you just want to see this particular piece sung by some incredible singers, it'll take your breath away.
Yeah, this version is actually really good. I've heard other versions where the Queen of the Night is slower,
Hmm.
and she sings it slower, and I'm like, ooh, I think I like the faster pace.
Oh
And this one has the faster pace, and it's all in English again.
yeah.
So
Look at him.
tasty little
He
dish.
can't. He's just out of it. He's like, oh Lord, please.
Now, Retro, what if someone showed up not dressed in what if they were dressed like that?
I'm still calling the cops. I'm like, yeah, what is happening here? Unless it's, Halloween, of course. You get
Look
every
at that.
pass on that.
And then Mozart goes down.
And I think the director slides in there.
Yes.
The show must go on.
You're right.
This is where Salieri steps in.
Right. He captures the heroine in archetypal terms. The poisoned apple has worked. We have the unconscious heroine, right?
Ooh, yes.
It's astounding to me how often this repeats. And it doesn't matter the genders. It doesn't matter any of that. So here and so the image that I find that recurs is the unconscious heroine because of the poisoned apple and the masked minotaur hovering over the top, over
Wow.
the heroine. That imagery is like freaking everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And here it is even here.
Yeah.
You have 2 guys playing these 2 roles, and it doesn't matter. You still have this imagery.
Yeah. And he steals him. He literally steals him.
He literally steals them. Totally, Retro.
I got you now.
Yeah.
You're mine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the point of the poisoned apple. And I love it. Mozart comes to for a second. He cares about the play. Is it over? Now he can pass out again. Okay, thank God.
He loves music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time music is the topic, you see total reverence out of both characters, except for the one scene you pointed out,
Yeah.
where he steps on the music. That's the one break. where I see him not treating music with reverence.
Yeah.
And here again, we're watching this play still. Why? It's so weird hearing it in English. So remember what I said about what it is. Why does the masked minotaur want to capture and possess the heroine?
Yeah.
It's because the masked minotaur wants the sacred fire of the heroine. And this scene could not have been more perfect. In fact, I call it I sometimes refer to it as a forced extraction, where the minotaur forcibly tries to take the sacred fire from the heroine. And did you see WandaVision?
Yes.
Remember at the end, Agatha, she's the masked minotaur. She physically tries to take the chaos magic out of the Black Witch, out of Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
So it's a forced extraction. Vader, when he has Princess Leia, he's trying to extract the rebel plans, which is her sacred fire, the rebellion. And here, the masked minotaur has captured the heroine with a poisoned apple. And what does he do? What is the sacred fire? God's music. And what does he try to do in this scene? He wants to write the music himself. I do like this scene for different reasons. There's a multitude of reasons, but it breaks your heart because Mozart had him pegged. I thought you did not care for me.
Yeah.
Remember? He says it right here. I thought you didn't like me. He goes, now I see that you're my greatest supporter. And it's sad because Mozart, you were right. And you have now been fooled and you do believe he's your friend and he's not.
Yeah.
And he's honest here. I tell you, it's the greatest. You're the greatest composer. That's honest. And that honesty is what changes Mozart's mind here.
Oh.
Putin's cat. How did we start talking about Vader in this?
Oh no.
We're talking about the forced extraction of the heroine's sacred fire. And in Star Wars, Vader tries to extract the Leia's cause, which is her sacred fire, from her. This is a Herione'S Labyrinth story, and we have an incredible visual for the Minotaur attempting to monopolize and extract the sacred fire from the heroine, which in this case is a man. It's Mozart.
Oh, Amy Jo says this was so much fun with you guys. Oh, thank you, Amy. It's always so nice to have you here.
Right, and Putin's cat. Yeah, when I use the term hero or heroine, I'm not saying like noble wonderfulness. What I'm saying is structurally, they're the lead character in a certain structure. That's what I mean by hero or heroine. I think you had mentioned Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon last time, and I was saying the heroine Jen Yu. And you're like, she's not heroic. You're right. I'm just what I mean is a structural heroine or a structural hero. That's all I just want to clarify.
It's just a person that is in the focus of the movie. It's not really a hero. Like
right. I just to clarify so that
there's no heroes here.
Right.
There are no heroes anymore. Sounds like something a line from a movie.
I need a hero. That's
great song.
Oh yeah, used wonderfully in Shrek.
Yes, and so many other movies.
Yeah, it's actually in a lot. So there's the poisoned apple. He dumps the money in his hand. Did he say 100? So from a writing point, he's lucky he killed him tonight because if he didn't, Mozart's going to know that this was all made up.
Yeah.
Hannibal can structurally be a hero. It doesn't mean he's heroic. So here, I love. Oh, this is a cutaway to prep us.
Yeah.
And look how quickly they do this scene. I don't feel right. Goodbye. Why? This guy thought he was getting lucky. Not going to happen, buddy.
Yeah.
She's out of there. Now, this is one of my favorite scenes in all cinema.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
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 For a billion reasons.
Yes.
But they isolate certain tracks of the opera here,
Mm-hmm.
Of the Requiem. And he
Yeah.
just plays like just the horns. And you can
Yes.
hear each segment.
Yes. And then he's like, "Oh, you're going too fast." No, write it down.
Yes.
Write it down.
But that's also evidence of his inability to be Mozart.
Yeah.
He can't keep up even in this. He can't keep up. He's too slow. He's a mediocrity.
Yeah.
In his terms.
Yeah.
Yes. So Salieri gets his wish here, the Masked Minotaur. He gets to touch the sacred fire here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love it too that he's kind of fanboys out here. Oh, it's sublime. He's like, come on. Come on, keep writing.
Yeah. I love it. He's like, it's like singing totally off key. I just love it. But it means something in the big scheme of things.
Yes.
These
Right
little
here, you
things
can hear the music.
that it's really funny because they're like little things that it's like if someone said it, you go, oh, that sounds like nonsense. What is this person doing? But then putting in the context of what he's creating, it's just the beginning of
Yeah.
this brilliance,
Yeah, it's just one layer.
Yeah.
And I love how the filmmaker chose to put the one track.
Yes.
So that we
Separating
can
it.
hear what Mozart hears in his head.
Yeah. And then it looks like he's building layers.
Yes.
Like different layers, which is basically if you were editing music or you're editing film, you have all those layers that you need to kind of toggle up and down and back and forth to create content or whatever.
Well, to assemble the whole to assemble the piece all together. And
yeah.
We hear and experience all these symphonies and operas in their final form, so it's hard for us to re-separate everything out.
Yeah.
And this film shows us, and here you see the inability of Salieri to rise to the occasion on parts of it.
Yeah. If you're a conductor or you're a composer, you would definitely know that. For the layman, I don't think you just hear the complete thing, and we're like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Right. Exactly. See, I love these scenes.
Yeah.
Just the isolated parts of this.
I love this part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I like how he's getting into it here. He's like, oh, yeah, this is good stuff. He's like, yeah.
Just go on.
He's like, yeah, it's genius. I get it.
I know.
So this, I think, is a key to that sacred fire.
Yeah.
Because he asks him, do you believe in it? Hold on. I think this is the scene.
Oh, yeah. It's coming up. Oh, this is so pretty. The vocalized.
Oh, yeah. The choral.
Yeah.
And it is true when you hear this whole thing. It's a stunning contrast in the shifts in the music, and it is amazing. You go too fast. And then this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Now he's going to listen to it all together, and it becomes the actual soundtrack to the film.
Yeah.
In the new scene. And that's her wife. It's his wife coming home.
Yeah.
Listen to that music. That is incredible.
So great.
Yeah, what a stunning contrast in the same piece.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the soundtrack.
Yeah. To be able to do that with visuals as well is just great.
That's why I think this film is a work of genius.
Yeah.
There's baby Mozart, who obviously did not do much. We never heard of him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He might have had a nice life, though.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Let's hope. I know in this world, you've got to either be great or you're nobody. It's like it's okay to be just you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of like what this is the theme of this story. I mean, Salieri was definitely like amazing, but
Right.
we've got like a supernova here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, so I think we missed the one part. We must have been talking about something else, but he asked him at one point, "Do you believe in a fire that an eternal fire?" So while the mass minotaur is getting while the sacred fire moment is occurring, it's just interesting that Mozart refers to it in the piece of music that they're writing. Do you believe in fire that consumes you? And Salieri is like, "Oh yes."
Yeah. I wonder if this is it or no.
No, I think this is where he's like, "Just stay with me while I rest."
Yeah.
Oh no, this is where he admits he likes him. He doesn't, Mozart.
He doesn't care for you, but he cares for your work.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a heartbreaking apology because I mean he's in the clutches of the Minotaur at the end here, you know.
Yeah. I think that is also part of the guilt factor that works on you know, Salieri. Like he could just go by about his business after this point, but it's still there is a feeling of guilt afterwards.
Right. Yeah. He tries to commit suicide. He's so guilty.
Yeah.
Here's where Stanzi is no longer ready to put up with this guy.
She's like, who the heck is that?
Who's this dude? Sleeping on the futon. Right.
Oh, snap.
She just boinks him. And I like the back and forth. She's like, "Why did you take him home in particular?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
because I was at hand.
yeah. Because of her former experience with him.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's like, okay, the last time I saw you,
You were having me.
I wasn't doing so good, and you had me removed.
Yeah. And he won't leave for a second. Yeah, I like her answer. That got Stanzi's attention.
Yeah. Money, did you say?
Is that gold I hear?
Oh, wow. I hear money jingling.
Now I'm in. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
I love that.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's always tough to watch because you're watching the downfall. Like his height. If I had to pinpoint it in the whole film, his height is the famous scene where he's directing and he's
yeah, and he's
happy.
like doing that dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of Vienna is behind him. Like that's his height. From
Yeah.
there, it's a slow descent into disgrace and death eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's where she switches. What's this? He's like, don't touch that. Look how angry Salieri gets at her. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, well, all this is done.
And she locks it.
Yeah. Look how angry he is at her. You open that.
Oh.
We lost him.
Oh no. Mission accomplished.
And remember, I always juxtapose this with that scene in the monologue earlier when he's like, imagine it, Wolfie's little coffin and all of Vienna will be there. He imagined Wolfie at the height of his fame being buried, and this is almost an anonymous burial.
Yeah.
Very few people showed up at all, and the few who did, it's raining.
The old maid is there, the former maid.
The one bureaucrat who was level-headed and kind of an admirer of Mozart.
Yeah. And they don't even go with him to the gravesite.
Right, because it's raining. That's what I'm saying. It's such a non-event.
Yeah, and look at the guards that are in their little little cubicles.
Yeah, they couldn't paint him any better than that.
Salieri is like, I wonder how he has like a non-facial expression. It's not happy or sad.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like he's unsure of how he feels about this moment. It certainly wasn't the victory he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost get the sense that he regrets it even there. Like he had some sort of closure with Mozart, which was before impossible. It was irreconcilable.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they had this like moment together, and then that was it. He wins.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a Pyrrhic victory here.
Okay, this part killed me when I saw it for the first time. So these guys, what they do is they collect the dead. They collect the dead and they put them in a coffin and drag them and take them out of the city. And just watch this part. This is hilarious.
Yeah, it's so, what's the word? Underwhelming. So ignominious.
They just dump him
Look,
in
even
a
the priest doesn't care.
yeah. No, he doesn't. They
He's
just
like, get
dump
me
him
out of
in a
here.
thing full of other people.
Yeah.
Ew, and you see did you see the hand? Ew.
Oh no.
Oh God. And then the thing is that they're gonna go use that coffin again.
Yeah, it's a reusable coffin.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I guess, save money on coffins
Yeah, exactly.
and then a little lime on there.
Yeah, throw
Cookies.
some lime on. That's it. See you later. And look at these guys. They're just waiting for the signal to be released.
Oh man.
Is it? Or they already did it, I think. Those two guys, they were like bowing, then they look up, like, can we go now? Look
Yeah.
at that. Nothing. Such a
Oh
useless
man.
burial.
Oh, so sad.
And
So sad.
look at this priest. He's exhausted. He's
It's morning.
horrified.
Yeah, it's right. It's morning now.
Yeah. And look at him. What a laugh. Look at him. He's almost taking offense. How dare you say that about God? And I love how Salieri, has framed himself as the guy who beat God.
Yeah.
You know what? Who do you think you are?
Yeah. What did you think you accomplished by doing that? You deprived the world of music, basically.
Well, and he begins to realize that himself, but he also saw that you can't hide what had been done. You can't really hide great art. And he even says, 32 years of watching myself become extinct. Every year, though, his music becomes more and more heard until you don't even hear mine at all. So it's like God went. So he's like, well, then I'm the champion of mediocrity. Anyone who's not the greatest, I've championed them because I have taken down God's favorite guy. And this poor priest just got more than he bargained for.
He's like, Lord have mercy. What are we gonna do with these people?
The champion of mediocrities.
He just goes through the entire place absolving everybody.
Yeah, like some messianic figure.
Oh gosh.
You think of like Lucifer, better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that little ending with the little laugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Mozart's laughter.
Oh man. And
what an incredible film. Incredible film.
Yes, that was wonderful, guys. Wow. And that was just insanely good.
And Finn.
Yes. Oh, look, Barry On is here. Hello, Barry On. Good to see you. Yes, guys, this was really truly amazing, and I'm so glad you guys were able to stay with me for this. Any last words or things that you want to say about Amadeus in particular, what we just saw?
Yeah, I wonder which awards it won. Supposed to be the 1985 Oscars.
Is it 90? It would be 95 because if it came out in 84.
Right. So it'd be the 85 Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Actor in a leading role, obviously, F. Murray Abram, Salieri wins.
Mm-hmm.
But also nominated was Tom Hulce as well. Let's see if it's anywhere else here.
Yeah, Burton's got they were reusing coffins. It was gross.
Amadeus won art direction.
Okay.
It was nominated but lost cinematography. That's surprising to me. The winner was The Killing Fields for cinematography, better than Amadeus. I would have to rewatch The Killing Fields to see if I think there's a case there, but Amadeus was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
It did win for costume design. It won Best Director. So it won Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture, Amadeus.
Oh, wow. It
Milos
just cleaned
Forman.
house.
It cleaned house, yes.
Yes.
Film editing, it was nominated, but it did not win. It lost to The Killing Fields. That surprises me too, because the editing I thought was incredible with the flashbacks.
Yeah.
It won makeup. What else? Music. No. Huh. Did you guys know the same year the Ghostbusters song, Who Are You Gonna Call?
Yes.
Lost to The Woman in Red for Best Original Song?
Well, that song was really good.
You're right. It's not like that's a forgotten song.
It was pretty great in its day. William Blake Hall says that you can have a is it Milos or Milos?
I think either one works. I always say Milos.
Milos Forman Film Festival with this and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yes, we are probably going to see that somewhere along the line.
That's another great movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to make sure I have a copy of it or what means to get it. But yes, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a movie I actually saw in the movies when it came in the movie theater when it came out. It was really cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. For some reason, that movie I had not seen till semi-recently.
Really?
Well, I shouldn't say that. I saw it for the first time maybe 20 years ago, but no, maybe like 15 years ago. But I was an adult and I'd always heard about it, and I finally watched it, and I was kind of blown away by it.
Yeah. Putin's cat says, I prefer listening to Mozart.
It is great music.
And Sean Ennis says, after a movie like that, I can understand how Tom Hulce's career kind of tanked. Ooh, that Berridge career wasn't more, and the somewhat up and down career of Abrams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there were a lot of other movies that I think at the time he played a lot of other like non-serious movies, and so this movie gave him a chance to do something rare and interesting, and he was up to task to do it. So it was just like trying to find the right parts for him, and I think in the 80s there really weren't a lot of parts that really fit his personality or what was sort of like in his wheelhouse, of movies.
Right.
I actually haven't heard of Berridge at all until today. So, I mean, I've seen her stuff, but I haven't like known of her as an actress. And Abrams, he just does everything. He's never like the main character, except for in this movie, like where he's like he shares the screen almost as the main character. And and most of the other things he's been in, he's been a supporting character, or so.
What was the most recent thing? He was in the Grand Budapest Hotel, wasn't he? Wes Anderson?
That I'm not sure.
He had a fairly decent role in there.
Okay.
I think he was the storyteller to the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he was really good in that. But yeah, I think both of these guys, Abrams and Hulse, the role of a lifetime for both of these guys. Amadeus and Salieri has etched itself into the mind of the world because of their performances, and it's like Shakespearean type of villain in Salieri. So like the role of a lifetime. Their acting performances were some of the best of all time.
Yeah, and Maria Kelly says, I never heard about Tom Hulce after this movie. And since F. Murray Abraham was a star in a Star Trek movie, he can't be all bad. No. Yeah, and
said.
Yeah. Let's see. And Putin's cat says Tom wasn't getting a lot of roles because he was openly gay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, he was?
I had no idea. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that till this day.
Yeah, I didn't.
Right
now. No clue. Let's see. And Shannon says Berridge is known for Fun House and the female cop on John Larroquette's show. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I didn't
She was great
see
in
that
this.
show. Yeah, and she's brilliant in this, and it's just perfect for her personality. Like she really figured out how to have the character very fun and playful, which is tough. Where which one do you play? Like, do you play the hard nosed wife, or do you play somebody who's like fun and charming, but also like ready to roll up the sleeves and like, hey, fight for my man,
Yeah.
and do whatever else is necessary for my man too. She was ready to sleep, actually do something unscrupulous, for her husband. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, you're right.
really,
You're right. She shows a huge range
yeah,
with the same character.
yeah, yeah. And Moonbeam says, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is free with ads on YouTube. So that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Um, let's see. And Perry On says he was in The Last Action Hero, which is, I love that movie, where one of the character accused him of killing Mozart.
What?
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh
I
my
gotta
God.
see this one again. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Last Action Hero, and I don't think I
Same.
remember seeing that scene, but I guess I have to look at it again.
Same. Right. I'm exactly with you.
Yeah, and Maria Kelly says, "Great movie and great live stream. I really enjoyed it. I think that I'll watch Amadeus very soon." Oh yeah, if you can get a chance, if you have Netflix, they have it. Um, and I'm not sure where else they may be having it, but if you get a chance to, definitely, sit back and relax. It's going to be 2 hours plus. Give
Yeah.
yourself some time, and maybe have a mimosa and
Or a Bloody Mary.
Ooh, yeah. Pull out one of your powdered wigs and enjoy this. Oh, man.
Grab your Harry Potter wand and use it as a conducting wand.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that was I remember when I was a kid, I used to pretend I was a conductor, and, uh
Me
and
too.
yeah, that was fun 'cause, I guess from the, there's, Bugs Bunny did a segment where he was conducting.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember that one? Yeah.
Kill the rabbit. Kill the rabbit. Or is that a different one?
There's a couple of them.
Okay. Okay.
One definitely for one he does it like classical music, and there's that one, and he's wearing like a full tuxedo, and he's it's all like done up. It's really great. Um, and let's see. I'm gonna skip a few comments. I'm not gonna try to um ignore anyone. I hope no one gets upset. But let's see.
Who can stay upset at you, Retro?
Oh, that's so sweet. Um, and let's see.
What's opera, Doc?
Oh, hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, Outcast Creative Lance is here. It says
Oh,
great
cool.
movie. Tom Holtz should have gone into a far greater career than he did.
That's
Yes,
what we've been
yes, yes.
saying. We
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah. And I think there's and it says he's popping in to give you guys a like. And guys, I'm gonna be doing a video soon. I'm not a video, but a live stream soon, which is of a taping that we did together. Outcast Creative and I did 1984 music. It's sort of like a retrospective, and we're kind of gonna go through all of the music of 1984. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. And let's see.
Retro,
Um,
what I always thought would be a fun topic is the greatest use of music in films. Like,
yeah.
like not something written for the movie, like an outside piece of music that they brought into the film that is
Oh.
used perfectly and memorably in a movie.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Like a piece of like
Like
classic
Stuck in the
music.
Middle with You from
Okay, yes.
Reservoir Dogs, or
Ah, okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Like,
you heard the music and now it's forever fused to the movie because of the
Yes.
images and the meaning.
Yes.
Third party music. That's a good way to say it.
And wow, the chat is popping tonight. It's really popping. Oh, okay. Marion remembers, says Bugs Bunny as a conductor was in long-haired hair. Okay,
Oh,
great.
wow, that's great.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I am gonna this wraps up this session of the live stream. Please look forward for some new things. I think look out for something from me this weekend. I'm sorry, not this weekend, but on Monday, the for the holiday Memorial Day, I will be posting that 1984 show on that day. So look out for me there. And also, guys, Tuesday I'll be doing the show with Mama Bear, which is going to be the Gargoyles TV show reviews, and look out for some more stuff from me. Oh, also, what's the next watch party? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, guys. I love that
Steve
movie.
Martin and Michael Caine?
Yes, I love that movie so much.
Oh my God, that is hysterical.
Isn't it? It's so good. It just cracks me up.
My Gram taught me. It is better to be good than to not.
Yeah, it's just so good. Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. You know, it, Douglas, it's just wonderful that you joined me today. I really appreciate it. And we'll have to do something like this again, but we do have something coming up, which is a Q&A on the 2nd of June.
Yes.
That we're going to have. And you guys will be able to ask any questions you want of Doug about his book and the hero's journey. I'm sorry, the hero's labyrinth and the hero's journey, the heroine's labyrinth, and just to like kind of get to know also Doug a little bit more and have some fun with him, and we can talk about more movies, and that'll be just fantastic.
And feel free to grill me. I know it's like Putin's cat. He doesn't always like the mythological overtone. But seriously, if it's okay to ask tough questions or to question it or to be skeptical, I don't take that personal at all.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely, give us some hard-hitting questions because, we love them. And, I think especially with that conversation, we need to have these conversations, they're the tough ones. And this will probably also help Doug in the long run because I'm sure there will be more people to ask him, tough questions. And why not get it over earlier?
Totally. Absolutely.
But yeah, so guys, I'm gonna play my 2-minute video, 2 to 3 minute video to get us out of here. And let's see if I can find it.
Well, thanks to the chat. You guys are awesome and very smart, and it's been just as fun going back and forth from the chat as it's been to watch the movie, as it's been to talk with Retro. So Retro's got a great thing going here for sure.
Thank you. And I do appreciate all the good, juicy nuggets of information you had during this entire time. It was just, it's just so great. Like, I think this is one of our best watch parties. We've had some great ones, and this is definitely one of the great ones. So thank you for being so awesome. And definitely. Okay, so let me see if I can do this really quickly. Yes. Okay. So without further ado, everybody, I bid you adieu, and I will see you in the next thing whatever.
In orbit.
Yes, I'll see you
on the next launch.
From space.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.